Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 34 of the Shut Your Mouth Lounge podcast. Today, it's me, Alex. I got with me Addie.
Hey.
And Pink.
Hey.
And today, we've got a shit ton of superhero topics, so if you hate superhero topics, it's Comic-Con week. This is the worst week of your year.
Leave now, or forever hold your peace.
Alright, bye.
Later.
See you later, Addy.
So, there's a multitude of trailers that have come out, a confirmation for one movie, and there's, this is the first one we should get out of the way just because. So, the Disney-Fox deal pretty much guaranteed to go through. Comcast pulled out of bidding, and Disney and Fox's shareholders got together and were like, yeah, let's do this. We've talked about this enough. I just wanted, it feels like we needed to do this just to, have, what's the term?
Closure.
Closure, exactly. This is what we need for closure. God, let's hope that we get a good X-Men series out of this. A good Fantastic Four series would be wild.
Yeah, unthinkable.
We're gonna, especially if we get Doctor Doom as the next arc villain. I would be so happy.
Yes.
So, now that we hit that, the only really notable one that didn't have a trailer to go with it was just a confirmation that Margot Robbie is producing a Birds of Prey film. Which, the Birds of Prey were a comic book team for DC. I don't know if they're still going to this day. They were big, 10 years ago, when they had what's considered to be generally the main three lineup for them is Black Canary, Huntress, Oracle.
Yeah.
Though the confirmed lineup here instead goes Black Canary, Huntress, Cassandra Cain, and Renee Montoya. Which is weird. And the thing is, Renee Montoya is just listed as Renee Montoya, and not, her superhero identity for a little bit, The Question. Which raises several questions in itself.
Indeed.
I have to say, if there's one comic book arc I'd actually be really interested in seeing them do, it would be the arc of the original Question, Vic Sage, getting lung cancer from smoking, and, trying to train Renee Montoya to take over as the Question after he passes. That, I think, would actually be an interesting one to bring to the screen.
It would be interesting to bring to the screen, but I wouldn't want to see it just because I'd rather they have Vic Sage as a Question.
Well, I mean, presumably...
I enjoy Renee Young, yes. Welcome to WWE. Renee Montoya as much as the next guy, probably, but I prefer my Question to be the first Question.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I want a couple movies of Vic Sage as the Question, but at the same time, I think it's inherently in the nature of the character of the Question that he lives a dangerous lifestyle. He has to burn out sooner than other superheroes would,
Yeah.
Because, Batman does what he does, but he's got, billions of dollars and crazy gadgets. Question is legitimately just a guy with a fucking mask going out and beating up thugs late at night. When you think about it, it's incredible that Daredevil hasn't died a million times yet. Shit, has Daredevil even died once?
Daredevil's never been alive.
I want to say
all.
that he did once, but I don't specifically recall.
Because there was a solid era of just what the fuck is Daredevil doing around Shadowland, around that time period. But I think Shadowland, Daredevil survived, but he murdered the fuck out of Bullseye.
Yep.
Which, I mean, Daredevil killing Bullseye is kind of like a Batman-Joker situation of fucking finally. I don't want Daredevil or Batman to become killers, but there comes a point eventually,
Yep.
But anyways, a Birds of Prey movie, I don't know, this is another one of those things of DC trying to, oh, fuck. I was about to go for a common term there. Trying to have their cake and eat it too, or whatever. That's probably the wrong term to use for that, but whatever. They're going too hard on it still. Marvel did the slow build-up. DC isn't bothering with it. Black Canary, Huntress, Cassandra Cain, and Renee Montoya are all characters that first appear as side characters for someone else, usually Batman.
they were all supporting characters to begin with, and they're getting their very own movie right off the bat.
Yeah, well, I think it would be easier to pull it off with Black Canary to begin with, because let's be honest, she's better than Green Arrow, but
Yes, Black Canary and Huntress, yeah, no problem. I can see that. I can see that working. But Cassandra Cain and Renee Montoya, I don't have as much faith in them as I do the other two.
at Cassandra Cain, they'll get their one or two martial arts spots out of her, and she'll probably just be silent the entire movie, and not in the way she's supposed to be. Renee Montoya, how would they would have to give her super high. She'd have to become the Question, right? Or else she'd just be a regular civilian.
She'll be there, Gordon.
They should. Fuck. It always runs into that issue with DC of, they should introduce her as Gordon's other detective first, but then it's like, oh wait, DC. They don't.
Who knows what they're doing?
Yeah, slow build up for DC is antithetical. I will say it's nice to see Margot Robbie going into producing, because I feel like Hollywood right now is overrun with 40-year-old old farts that are way past the age they should be in the business, or 50-year-olds. Shit,
Yeah.
Some of them are getting up to their 60s. Denzel Washington is like 60 now, and he's still starring in action movies. So it's good to see a young up-and-comer like Margot Robbie take a big place in the industry. So hopefully this goes well for her.
Oh yeah.
The one issue I have there is
That's
if she's producing, does that mean they would shove Harley in?
probably.
No.
She'll already be on set, so no problem there.
I suppose.
Harley will.
I'm just imagining Margot as Harley doing all the directing now, and it's kind of amusing.
Harley will be the main antagonist.
That would actually be cool. That would actually be pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Did the Birds of Prey even have a villain?
I don't recall.
They're kind of a general purpose, whoever they feel like team, last I checked.
Yeah.
That's probably one of those comic book runs I should actually read before I talk too much about.
Yep. I'm in that same boat.
I've only heard good things about Gail Simone's run on it, but other than that,
My only knowledge of the Birds of Prey comes from Batman Bold and Beyond or something like that.
Bold and Beyond.
Bold and Beyond, yes.
I don't remember what the name of the show was. Something like the Bold and something or other.
You conflated two different Batman
Bold.
series.
Yeah.
There's Batman Beyond and Batman Brave and the Bold, which I don't blame you for getting confused because those are two similar titles, but still. Were the Birds of Prey in the Brave and the Bold?
Yes, they had a musical number where they shit on every male character.
Oh, right, the musical episode. I never saw that one. Heard good things about it, though.
It was one of my favorite ones.
I'm just reminded of the episode of the old Justice League series where it turned out that Batman's secret passion was lounge singing.
I don't remember that one.
That one was great. I love that one.
I've never watched it, but I've seen the scene. Where they're like, what's your deep, dirty secret, Batman? And then it cuts to Black Canary sitting in a lounge watching Batman up on the stage singing like Frank Sinatra. Comic books are stupid. In the best possible ways. So the next one up is an actual trailer for Iron Fist Season 2 came out. Had they even announced that there was going to be an Iron Fist Season 2 before that?
Yes, I believe they did, because I know I heard about the September release date for it. I just didn't hear anything at all up until that point.
It's crazy that it's getting a Season 2. Cause, I know everybody and their mother kind of shit their pants over it, and I get why. I tried to watch the series and I couldn't get through it. So, I don't know. There's already a million things that's been said about the first season of Iron Fist and why it was bad. So there's not much I'd be innovating there. But there's, easy to go over notes, like the martial arts scenes, the fight scenes, all kind of sucked really bad because that main character, that main actor, Finn, whatever his face, doesn't actually know anything about martial arts.
Yep.
The main actor is just awful in general. And what else was there? Oh, right, the part everybody loves to make fun of. Boy, does that character have the most annoying dialogue in history. Like, for Danny Rand to be one of the most easygoing, fun-loving characters in the comics, in the TV shows, he's annoyingly dramatic. And of course, fucking every episode, my name is Danny Rand, I have the Iron Fist, I'm the protector of Kunlun, and it's like, we fucking get it. Does Daredevil...
His character is just the opening sequence in a CW show.
It really is. The other Netflix shows feel like Breaking Bad. The other Netflix Marvel shows feel like the superhero equivalents of Breaking Bad. Iron Fist feels like it would fit in with the CW lineup. Also, isn't it an anime trope for the character to start every episode off by saying, like, I'm da-do-da-do, whatever?
Yeah, kind of.
I wasn't aware, but probably.
I mean, it's not really that reoccurring from the ones that I watched, but I've seen it enough for it for me to consider it a trope.
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, whenever I hear it, I think of it as a bad shonen trope. So you know,
most of the anime I watch is shonen, so you know.
Other than that, the trailer itself doesn't really show much other than saying, "Hey, we're coming around for a second season" for some reason.
Like, it looked like complete garbage, so...
Well, hopefully they've improved the martial arts a little bit. Hopefully this Finn jackass has actually bothered to show up for a few, I don't know, at least karate classes. God forbid.
And if not, let's just center the rest of the show around Colleen. I think that's best for business.
We can talk more about Colleen later, because I've started watching Luke Cage Season 2. So we can talk about that.
I haven't.
It's really fucking good. We'll talk about it later. So, yeah, Iron Fist Season 2 is happening. Hopefully it's better than the last season, though that wouldn't be a difficult hurdle to jump.
Yeah. It's like, after the first season, they, like, canned the director or whoever, like, immediately.
No.
Somebody else, so that's a good sign already.
No, they didn't shit...
I didn't hate Iron Fist as passionately as most everyone else in the world. But, yeah, changes definitely need to be made.
They didn't shit can the director. They moved him to Inhumans. And then they shit-canned him, because Inhumans was also a huge bomb.
Yeah. Remember Inhumans? Remember how hyped everyone was for that? More so the Marvel staff than anyone else in the world, but still.
Fuck the Inhumans, except Black Bolt. He's cool. So, after that, there is the trailer for the Aquaman movie, which is... like, one of the only movies people have actually been interested in going into DC. But I don't know how to feel about this movie. Like, you guys have watched the trailer as well. I think Addy has firmly said already he doesn't like it.
No, I don't. First things first, he doesn't have a hook hand. That's like 15 minus points just there.
You and I have very differing opinions there.
The only thing that makes Aquaman look good, in my opinion, is the hook hand.
I'm a fan of both. The way I think it should be is he should have a regular hand for the first two movies. The end of the second movie, he gets his hand chopped off, and then he gets the hook hand for the third movie. That's the way I like it, because it shows character development.
Yeah.
In the same way I like Thor losing his eye, and I don't like that Infinity War gave him his eye back.
Just casually and whatnot.
Pink.
Put your eye on me. Here, put it in your head.
Yeah. Pink.
Yeah.
In the trailer, they show them holding a kid. Is that Aquaman as a kid, or is that Aquaman's kid?
I'm saying again, I think it's way too early. Like, this looks like it's before Justice League, honestly. Because he's still, like, at this point it looks like Aquaman is just pissed at Atlantis and doesn't want to go there.
Yeah, it seems like an origin story.
And by the time of Justice League, he's technically already the king. He just avoids being there because he still hates it. But for my part, I think since it's going to be a prequel, that it's just a shot of his parents holding him as a child. Because if he's having a baby with Mira at all, it won't be happening for a while.
Yeah.
Like
that was my impression as well.
The thing is, so much of
the baby, I didn't immediately think, oh, Arthur has a child now. I was just thinking that was a flashback to his parents.
Yeah, and my thing there is like there's such a resistance against marriage and having kids in superheroes. Like I'd be cynical that they're going to run the storyline at all, considering that the comic books are just now coming around back to having Aquaman and Mera get married again. But there's one thing I should note here. What is it about fucking movies with Jason Momoa in them that the casting directors keep casting Jason Momoa's parents as two white dudes?
That is interesting. I didn't notice that.
How does this keep happening? Because like I don't even remember the dad actor from looking at it because it's just bland white dude. And the mom is Nicole Kidman, who is in one of the a serious contendership for whitest people alive, based on her marriage to Tom Cruise. And then they produce.
Will come after you.
And then they produce the wild warrior of the islands that is Jason Momoa, quite possibly the greatest picture of manliness in the last 10 years. Like, what the fuck? There's also something to note. The Atlantis shots looked cool. I saw it pointed out the other day, though. How much of the Atlantis stuff, though, are they going to try to focus on just as an attempt to cash in on Wakanda now, you know?
Yeah.
That question always comes into the picture.
I was thinking the same thing when I was watching the trailer.
I'm also thinking, like, based off the scenes we get of him on land and going to the desert, is this going to be a fucking Aquaman movie that tries to avoid underwater scenes because it doesn't want to have to pay for the special effects?
Probably.
Fuck.
Aquaman will just relocate Atlantis to the sand ocean.
It's like, really? Floaty underwater hair physics? That costs a lot of money, you guys. It's like, let's send him out to the desert for a while.
Oh, man.
I mean, couldn't they just shove the actors into a tank for 10 minutes?
10 minutes. Yeah.
I think that's what they
Hold
did.
your breath and make a scene here.
Quickly try to talk without dying.
Oh, man. Yeah. You know, I'll give it one thing, though. The big war scenes do look pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a thing about Aquaman that they always undershoot. Whenever people try to say Aquaman's lame, they always undershoot the fact that he is a king and has an army.
An army of sea monsters. It's like, how more badass can you get?
I'm reminded, like, one of the best moments of the first Injustice game is Superman has a little prison island that is, like, he has Alcatraz, but for superheroes that won't work for him, you know?
Yeah.
And Aquaman just rises out of the sea at the head of, like, an army of 100-foot tall ticks, basically. And it looks incredible as they siege the beachhead. Yeah. Also, can I just say I don't like Amber Heard?
I don't know who that is.
Mira's actress. Johnny Depp's ex-wife. Who he may or may not have beaten. Boy, he's been having a real train wreck of a go lately, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Probably.
Jesus.
I would have said he had a real train wreck of a go like a decade ago or so, but yeah.
A decade ago, that would have been him at his prime. That would have been Pirates of the Caribbean.
He never had a prime, in my opinion.
Fuck you. I don't know what else we can say about Aquaman.
Well, going back to my question, I just realized that were they to actually give him a kid, wouldn't they need to do the Darkest Night arc to actually make it, or make it writing it off of the screen make sense?
Blackest Night?
It's either Blackest Night or Darkest Night. I don't remember.
The thing is, I think they've done that. I think that there was a storyline 20 years ago, Darkest Night, and there was a storyline 10 years ago, Blackest Night.
Yeah.
Which one was the one where that superheroes rose as like Blackest
Night.
Pretty sure Darkest Night. No, I'm thinking the wrong one. I'm thinking Nightfall. Never mind.
Darkest Night was, I think, That was the event. Oh crap! Who was it that died during Darkest Night? I don't remember. I think Darkest Night just was the one where like there was the alien that was coming to Earth and Superman was forced to fight him and fuck, who died during Darkest Night? I can't remember. There was some major death that happened during Darkest Night. I'm gonna have to rack my brain for that. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, Blackest Night was the zombie superhero one. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't they have to do that in case for Aquaman's child to be written off of the screen to make sense?
Aquaman's child just got killed by Black Manta, I want to say, like several years ago. Because, I mean, there was, of course, the famous moment where Arthur cuts off his own hand to save the kid. But I think sometime before that or after that, Manta just strangled baby Arthur Curry Jr. in his crib or something. It probably would have been after that.
Remember.
Yeah, Blackest Night, Aquaman's place in Blackest Night was he was dead at that point, probably from Final Crisis. And he came back and killed Aqualad. That's what happened, basically. And then Mira kicked both of their zombie asses.
Yeah, that's the one part that I remember. We were kicking their asses. But yeah, I think that's Aquaman then.
Yeah. Moving on. DC released... Oh, wow, it's just all DC for Comic-Con. I just now noticed that. There's one Marvel thing for us to talk about. But other than that, Marvel has to keep quiet about everything because they fucking killed off most of their cast. Whoopsie doodles.
Yeah. They'll have a good Comic-Con next year, I'm sure.
Yeah. Hey, here's a dozen movies that we've been working on for the last 5 years but couldn't talk about because Thanos.
Thanos snapped Marvel in half.
Yeah.
Did.
Basically, yeah. So, it was more than half. You look at the fucking cast, just more than half. Like, especially in Ant-Man, where 3 out of the 4 main characters all got killed over by Thanos. Yeah.
But yeah, I still do question how they're gonna do freaking Spider-Man 2 and Doctor Strange 2.
The answer is we wait until Infinity War Part 2 is done. And then Marvel's gonna have to launch the hype train as fast as they can. So anyways, DC also showed off the first trailer for Shazam. And I'm going to go ahead and say I think it looks incredible, aside from the stupid soundtrack.
I don't remember the soundtrack. Wait, I'm actually in the same boat. I'm not a fan of Shazam, but I thought the trailer looked fantastic.
I like Shazam for what he is as a character, but I feel like he's one of those characters that has never had his potential truly tapped, you know? Because he's never been popular enough past the 1940s.
No, yeah.
And if this movie actually turns out to be a hit, then this could probably lead to great stuff for Shazam in the future for DC. So, you also watched the trailer, right, Addy?
Yeah.
Alright, so what'd you think of it? Because I feel like you're going to have a different opinion.
I thought it made the character interesting. I mean, once he actually turns into Captain Marvel.
Alright, well, it ain't Captain Marvel, it's Shazam, because, I don't know.
Copyright.
Is it even copyright? I don't think it is copyright. I think it was a thing where Marvel and DC shared it, and DC just got tired of getting the characters confused. And they figured everybody called him Shazam anyways. Why did everybody call him Shazam?
Because that was the one thing he said.
Wasn't that the name of his comic?
Right, but nobody calls Captain America Avengers Assemble.
Well, you don't call him that.
Cap's comic is not called Avengers Assemble.
Well, no, wasn't it called Captain Marvel back in the day?
I don't know.
I think it was. The comic was called Captain Marvel, but he shouted Shazam. And people just started calling him Shazam because he shouted Shazam. Which then leads to the inevitable issue of the fact that the wizard and the superhero now share the same name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's interesting. I'm intrigued. I need to go look that up later.
That the movie actually looks really good for a DC movie, and it reminds me of the first Wonder Woman in terms of DC is not banking on this one. DC was like, just get it done. And because we don't have Christopher Nolan or Zack Snyder breathing down these guys' necks, they can actually make a good movie. Who'd have thought?
Oh, no slow motion brooding scenes. How will
Oh,
this ever succeed?
no Superman getting hundreds of civilians killed by a falling skyscraper as he snaps supervillains' necks.
I mean, without the snapping of supervillains' necks, isn't that just Saturday for Superman?
No, not at all. That's a big thing in the comics that Superman tries to keep it away from the civilians. There are several times where Superman either uppercuts someone into space or tricks someone into flying into outer space so he can fight them without getting the civilians caught in the middle. But yeah, it looks great to me because it looks like it's going to actually have, God forbid, a sense of optimism and humor. I mean, at first it looks a little bit your usual DC griminess with the way Freddie Freeman, no. What's his fucking name? Billy Batson. The way Billy Batson is looking like he's hardcore, he's hopped from foster home to foster home. He doesn't want to be limited by his parents. And then it just completely turns around.
Yep.
The scene in the convenience store looks especially great, of course, because, they do the, ha, you're dead. But is it just me, or are they going in there to buy beer?
I couldn't tell.
I've heard that suggestion brought up before. It doesn't seem like a thing they do, but what if they do that? Because Shazam is technically an adult.
Yeah, but he's also
Yeah,
doesn't possess an ID card at the moment, so I don't know how that would work out for him.
Well, there's some places that won't ID you if you look old enough.
That is true, because Zachary Levi is like, what, mid-30s, maybe? I don't know. I can't really tell ages well.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's very clearly an adult.
yeah. Like I don't know if they are changing it nowadays because I don't keep up on that kind of stuff. But I definitely remember like 10 years ago or so seeing a Walmart with a sign of, "If you look to be younger than the ages of 45, we will be forced to ID you," or something. And that was basically their thing of saying, we're only going to ID teenagers. Go get drunk, kids. Have fun. So, there's also something to be noted. The villain there is played by Mark Strong, which every time we bring up an American celebrity name, I can hear Addie go, "Who?"
You're not wrong.
Did either of you watch Kingsman?
No.
Okay, Mark Strong was in Kingsman. He was one of the older agents, and he was the only older agent to survive the movie. Spoilers. Kingsman is a 4 or 5 year old movie. If you haven't already seen it, go see it because it's a damn good one.
Yeah, first one very good.
I've not watched the second one because at the instant I saw Channing Tatum, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm out."
Don't watch the second one.
Okay.
Do not watch the second one.
Does it have more Mark Strong?
I think so.
I like Mark Strong. I'm happy with seeing him get more roles. That's for sure. Though he's also very clearly the kind of guy that is going to keep getting typecast as villain roles. Because he's a big, bald British dude. Like, that's the ultimate villain combination for actors. With a pointy chin, too. Damn.
Yeah, he fulfills all those stereotypes.
And he's going to be playing the character of Dr. Sivana, which, if anyone here remembers the old 1940s Dr. Sivana, like, that's bizarre. Because Dr. Sivana back in the old days was like a tiny little hunched over, what's the fucking term? Whatever, like 70-year-old man walking on a cane. And now he's Mark Strong?
What an upgrade.
I think it's a New 52 thing where they felt the tiny little old man wasn't threatening enough, so, good old New 52. Make every character the same so that they're all threatening, supposedly.
Hey, Superman pills.
Oh, well, there you go. That, of course. God.
It's not always terrible. It worked out well for Vulture, but...
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, there's something to be said about the fact that, like, originally the idea was to have Black Adam as the villain, as played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But that idea was destined to fail from the beginning because, one, Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing any role other than the main character in a movie, I can see him having issues with that.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Having Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing a villain, that's also not going to happen. Even though back in the day he was considered one of the greatest heels in wrestling, he's dead set on never playing a villain ever again for some fucking reason. Can I just say I'm sick of Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'm sick of Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Something doesn't quite sit well with me with The Rock being cast as a character named Black Adam.
He is half black, but...
That's the reason, I think.
The character of Black Adam is also partially black on account of being ancient Egyptian.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, crap. That was supposed to be ancient Egyptian, right? Yeah, that's supposed to be where Kahndaq was, yeah. Which, I mean, I do have to say it's a pity that we probably won't be getting a Black Adam movie for a while. Black Adam in any of the movies for a while, and when we do, it'll be in his own fucking movie because it's The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Kind of weird how that works out, but...
Because Black Adam is one of the most fun characters DC has, or at least most interesting, not fun, rather.
Yeah.
He can be fun when they let him really
He's pretty grumpy for the most part.
Well, the fun part of Black Adam is he's Superman's powers with none of Superman's limitations. You know, moral limitations, rather. So there's...
I doubt he's susceptible to magic either, because he is a magical being.
Yeah. No kryptonite. No kryptonite either, because when you think about it, Shazam is the most broken character in the DC universe.
He needs a nerf stat.
So, Black Adam, he, I don't know if you remember this part, but there's a part in, I want to say, Infinite Crisis or 52, where Psycho Pirate has, lame-o villain Psycho Pirate, remember him?
Yeah.
Like, supposedly he was doing some typical supervillain bullshit, and Black Adam just got sick of it. So Black Adam drove his palm into Psycho Pirate's face so hard that he sent Psycho Pirate's mask flying out the back of his skull.
Yes.
If only he facepalmed while doing so. or to do this, rather.
The really great thing is, while he does it, he does the one-liner, "No more silly faces." It's always the thing of, like, it's great as long as they acknowledge that, yeah, he's kind of a bad person for doing it. Murder is bad, but while Black Adam's doing it, let's have some fun with it. And let's make sure that it's always happening to someone who deserves it, like Psycho Pirate, so you can still cheer for it, but be like, yeah, Black Adam's still an asshole. Because didn't Psycho Pirate try to destroy the world with Anti-Monitor?
Yeah, he was one of Anti-Monitor's minions.
Right, yeah, so he probably had it coming pretty hard.
Yep.
Of course, one thing I should note, they changed Freddie Freeman, the adoptive brother. In the comics, Freddie Freeman is in a wheelchair, not on a... He doesn't have the arm... The
crutch.
Yes. So they changed it from him full on being like, oh crap, I remember now why Freddie Freeman was in the wheelchair. He was made paraplegic by Captain Nazi breaking his back.
like Nazis do. Just go around delivering backbreakers to the little children.
Basically. Yeah.
Seems in character for them.
Yeah. Everything seems in character for the Nazis. They're just that crazy. God.
I wouldn't put anything past them, so yeah, we'll roll.
I don't know. Like, kissing puppies doesn't seem in character,
Hey, Hitler was supposed
I was
to be...
talking more about the grim outtakes on life.
Hitler was supposed to be a fan of dogs, wasn't he? Or something like that? Well, we say that, but I already know that he personally, oversaw the genocide of a dog breed called the Vizsla because they are perceived to be the dogs of the rich. Because I have a Vizsla, and there's not many of them.
Vizsla still exists.
Yeah, well, they're from your country, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm putting down a timestamp here because there's a glorious image I found on the internet the other day, and I want to show it to you guys. And I want to put it as the thumbnail in the video for a little bit. Nope, that's the pic. That already that
can work. That can work though. That's a thumbnail can work.
Yeah, that thumbnail should definitely go up on this video sometime because I don't want to be the only one who suffered through that phase. What is that?
The Nazis stole the swastika. Ganesh wants it back. In theaters, September 2018. I'd pay to watch that.
Ganesh is gonna guard the anthem to death. He'll freaking, he'll just call down those pavilions or whatever from the sky to kill them.
God.
Like, he'll make the biggest one that ever existed. It will stretch from one corner of the earth to the other.
Who could have expected that during World War II the Hindi would summon the ultimate weapon of war?
Ganesh, yeah.
Oh, God.
What just impresses me is that somebody took time to make that. It's like that idea popped into somebody's head and they put it to paper and now it's here for all of us to enjoy.
That thought makes me optimistic for humanity.
Absolutely.
The world needs more absurdist comedy like that.
Speaking of absurdist comedy, we'll come back to that when we reach what I did in the past 2 weeks.
So yeah, there was also a trailer for a certain Teen Titans live-action show.
It's not Teen Titans. It's Young Adult Titans.
It's just Titans.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Slightly under the age of 20 Titans.
Probably not. They will all look pretty old.
Yeah.
Maybe Raven, I think she looked pretty tiny. I don't quite remember.
Oh,
We all saw the trailer, right?
Yes, we all saw the trailer.
We were all equally disappointed by the trailer, right?
Disappointment is not the accurate word for that.
That's true, though.
We were all properly enraged by that abysmal excuse of a trailer they gave us, right?
Disappointment is not the appropriate reaction for a dumpster fire.
Right. So let's go over the list. Why the shit is Raven the main character? Why the shit did Robin kill people? What's up with bloody Starfire? And I just want to mention Beast Boy's existence. Just like I like Beast Boy, but still.
Did you notice that we never got to see Beast Boy actually turn into any animals?
Oh,
Yeah,
that was the first thing I noticed, because that's like the first thing Beast Boy should do, but they have such a limited budget, they're not going to make a little green monkey on the screen.
Yeah. And did you notice the absence of Cyborg?
Well, yeah, because DC has a whole thing of saying, oh, Cyborg's on Justice League now. If he gets put in the Titan stuff, kids will get confused, except he's in Teen Titans Go, so what the fuck?
Yeah.
For once, I was actually happy that New 52 existed because it meant that Cyborg somehow was able to evade Titans in its entirety.
Cyborg jetpacks out of the vicinity like, fuck that shit. I ain't having any part of that.
Yeah.
Just rockets out of there with his little jet boots.
Oh, man.
Shoots himself with his Mega Buster on the way out.
Jesus.
Even that's better than being in Titans.
Yes. Cyborg is the lucky Titan because he gets to avoid this. Everyone else is not so lucky.
But seriously, also, why did they make Raven like a stereotypical freaking like possessed person? Wasn't she like half demon?
Because paranormal activity is all the rage with the kids, man.
Maybe 10 years ago.
Don't you love to go to the theater and watch The Conjuring?
What the hell is that even? I actually
It's
don't know.
another one of those paranormal things that comes out like bi-monthly.
Oh, so I see. So it's just the Blair Witch Project Part 568.
yes.
Indeed.
We need a genre name for these horror movies. We'll call them
Blair Witch Project.
We'll call them nothing horror.
We'll call them filler for the empty theater seats.
Nothing filler horror. Filler works. Yeah, filler works. So yeah, Raven's a filler horror character. And also she seems to be the main character, at least the one that tries to assemble the Avengers here.
Yeah, which I mean
That makes
Raven-
sense because in the original, well, not the original, in the Teen Titans that mattered, Raven's the one that brings them all together in the first place anyway. So it's good to see that at least somebody had some sort of idea of what the comics are doing.
Yeah, that'll be good
Maybe
until
they
we...
just got a lucky guess. They probably didn't actually read the comics, but still.
Yeah, I would wager more lucky guess, because Raven being, depressed goth who worries about the beast inside her seems like the exact kind of character that an edgelord writer would love. And there's also something to be said here. What I heard from Soon, I don't know if, we'd need evidence to back this up, but supposedly one of the big guys over the movies, after the failure that was, Justice League and Batman vs. Superman, he got moved to the TV show division, and this is his first product. That makes too much sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Something went off over here. I didn't get to hear what you just said.
The guy that was over the movies got moved to the television division after the infamous fuck-up of Justice League and Batman vs. Superman, and this is his first product.
Oh, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It makes too much sense. Send him back.
Send him home with no pay.
Send him home. Send him somewhere else entirely.
Send him to Malaysia.
Send him to the salt mines.
They don't deserve that.
We send him to Malaysia. Malaysia sends him back.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Can I just say that when the first screenshots came out of Starfire looking like a streetwalker, the actress came out to say, hey, that's not the final shot. Things will look much better in the film. It looks the exact fucking same, except now her hair is on fire, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say they attached a couple of strips of LED to her hair, and that's all that changed.
Yeah, it does not look good.
The way...
Why is she... They didn't even bother to make her orange.
Yeah, I was about to say, why is she purple?
She's purple with veins popping out, because I guess that's the edgelord way. Oh man, this is going to be the edgelord episode, because what I've done the past couple weeks, and what Addie's done this past week.
The thing is that I'm the resident edgelord. I like gothic aesthetic, but this is way too much.
Why, Robin taking a thug's gun and blowing the brains out of 12 people on the streets is too edgy for you, Addie?
And also, Dick isn't the one who turns into Red Hood, is he?
No!
Then why the hell did he murder people?
'Cause fuck Batman.
If it was
First lines in that trailer, wasn't it?
That
Yeah.
was the actual line he said after shooting those people. He said to the corpses, fuck Batman.
Bloody hell!
This show is just destined for greatness.
It was,
And this is going to be airing on their stupid little DC streaming app, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a real product seller. It's gonna be a first day subscription for me.
I'm trying to figure out which Robin is the one who turns into Red Hood because I forgot their name.
Jason Todd.
Yeah, Jason Todd.
They should have made a fucking Jason Todd show if they wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Jason Todd already has his own super team. Oh, God. He has the Outlaws. It's him, it's Bizarro, it's Artemis, it's Starfire, bizarrely enough, and fucking Roy Harper. In whatever name he's going with this week.
So after this series, we will get a movie that's the Outlaws, and then after that we'll get Damian Wayne's Titans.
Damian Wayne's Titans, and they're just all carrying machine guns with ammo belts.
Yeah.
They're all cable.
No. No, instead of the actual team, he just has Ra's al Ghul's people dressed as the superheroes.
It's a Middle Eastern ninja wearing Starfire's like bizarro the banana hammock, Starfire's banana hammock.
Yeah.
And his skin is just like painted orange, like, and it's they missed spots
Yes, perfect.
with brush strokes easily visible. And he's wearing a wig that's just as bad as the Starfire in the TV shows.
It's literally just this Starfire's wig. Just the same prop.
And another Middle Eastern assassin's dressed up like Raven with the fucking unitard that has his ass hanging out.
Yeah. And then instead of Beast Boy, they just have like animals painted green.
They just have a bear. Beast Boy, we're going to need your help solving this mystery. Please stop mauling Starfire.
We just replaced her last week.
Oh my god. That would be more entertaining than what we're actually getting.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Oh, you know what I heard about Titans, though? You know, the movie, the stupid cartoon movie that came out? Supposedly
Yeah.
it's actually doing really well with critics for some reason. But,
that is strange.
But it has a post-credits sequence of the original cartoon Titans saying that they're trapped and that they're trying to break free or something. And now Tara Strong, Raven's voice actress, is hinting that if the movie is successful enough, they might actually do a season 6 for the original series.
That's good. I didn't know that Raven was voiced by Tara Strong.
Oh, yeah.
Tara Strong does everything.
Yeah.
Why would you be surprised?
Like I knew that she was Timmy Turner and Bubbles, but those are the only ones that I actually knew.
Look, if any of the voice actors pass away before season 6 can start work, they can just have Tara Strong carry double the load.
Absolutely.
Especially Cyborg. And the great thing there is Cyborg's voice actor is on Walking Dead as one of the major characters. So just replace him with Tara Strong.
In Walking Dead.
Yeah, he's the big black dude with the big gray beard and gray dreadlocks. Just replace him with Tara Strong.
Nobody will notice.
Fuck the Titans TV show. God. Okay, what else is there? Moving away from that dumpster fire. Pink, have you gotten any time in with Hammond yet? Wrecking Ball. They should have just
Yes.
They should have just called him Hammond.
I don't know why they didn't.
I
Wrecking Ball is such a long, awkward name. Hammond works so much better.
yeah.
Well, when you kill people, you can just I came in like a wrecking ball.
Shut up.
Yes. Okay.
And then
I'm actually curious as to whether Hammond was like an official Overwatch name or not now, because when he was first unveiled, I don't recall him ever. Well, I don't recall what his official name was, so I'm wondering if like Hammond was just a fan-made name that caught on, or if it has been noted that Hammond is his like hamster name, but Wrecking Ball is his hero name.
I think Hammond is the hamster and Wrecking Ball is the robot.
I see.
Which Hammond makes more sense because it sounds like hamster.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, I haven't
If you called the stupid thing Hammy, and it would have been better than Wrecking Ball.
Yes, it would have. Can I
just call him Hamtaro.
Hamtaro?
Yes, Hamtaro.
Can I just note, though, I haven't actually looked into the thing's lore, but I did update the game and play around with the Wrecking Ball for a little bit. I saw one of his costumes had a little bit of a lore attached. It said he was one of the other lunar colony experiments, and he just got in the Wrecking Ball and did the fucking cable and stuck onto Winston's ship as Winston left.
Yes. The wrecking ball he's a part of or operates drives around. What I don't know what word I'm looking for, but that thing is his escape pod that he turned into his weapon.
Okay.
Yes, we all wanted to see that. Addy.
Oh no.
Did you not see this yet, W?
I've seen it. So, Addy just posted a video of Hulk Hogan doing the wrecking ball thing with the ass hanging out. Okay. Moving on. So, anyways, wrecking ball, have you actually got to play with him yet, Pink?
Yes, I got to do that yesterday, actually. Yesterday or the day before. Doesn't really matter. But I did get to play with him.
Yeah, he is...
Yeah, you go ahead.
He is interesting, isn't he?
Yes. I quite enjoy his kit. Everything is very fun. But...
That actual wrecking ball part is going to take a long time to get used to.
Oh, yeah. There are times where I will basically attach myself to the payload and just spin around it, hoping to catch people. I know there are going to be instances where that will come in real handy. Like, what's that map called? Eichenwald. On that part where you're on the bridge and, like, everything's exposed and it's easy to fall off and to your death. Like, I've gotten quite a few Lucio boops on that match in my time. But I'm thinking that Wrecking Ball will be able to launch some people to their deaths very easily on that part of the map, which is going to be very fun. I'm very excited to try that out one day. But when he's out of his Wrecking Ball, I'm not a fan of his gun because, like, we've got Orisa and Bastion. They've got those turrets, and they've got a large ammo capacity, and they fire, like, ridiculous rounds per minute. But Hammond's guns has only, like, maybe 80 rounds, and they fire off really fast, so you will run out of ammunition really, really friggin' fast. So, outside of Wrecking Ball mode, he's kind of hard to work with because you're going to be constantly reloading in team fights, which is not a good thing.
To me, it seemed like his guns had less spread, though, which means that you may actually want to go for headshots more with Hammond.
Oh yeah, that may be true. But the smaller ammo capacity and probably higher fire rate really wasn't fond of.
Yeah, I get you. I also am not fond of how he's getting the same gun that basically Orisa and Bastion already had.
Yeah.
So that's kind of... God forbid I call Hammond boring, because he's probably the most interesting character Overwatch has released yet. But that is a really boring choice for a primary gun.
Yeah. His grappling hook mechanic, it's very fun. It's sometimes tricky to work with, though. And if you miss, like... There were times where I would miss a shot, and I would get the cooldown for it, which was a real pain in the butt.
You have to be good with that shit. You have to be good with that shit.
I want to Spider-Man my way across this map, but I can't when I'm missing my shots and I have to wait for the cooldown.
Yep.
So, yeah, that part isn't as fun. But overall, I'm very excited to have Hammond on the roster. I don't see him really impacting the meta all that much as it is.
He's too much of an awkward character.
Yeah, especially on console, where the controls are far worse than they would be on PC. It's going to be very awkward to find a good spot with him. It's like Brigitte out of the gate, you could kind of tell that she'd be a dominant force to be reckoned with. Hammond, he's going to be like a not quite a viable choice in my opinion, but if you want to have a lot of fun with him, like, knock yourself out.
My thing is, he seems like the kind of character that the vast majority of people will not be capable of doing anything with. There will be a certain subset of people that will utterly annihilate with him. And you will be beyond confused at what the fuck just happened when it happens to you.
Yep.
One
thing I haven't quite figured out is his ultimate. Like, I haven't figured out what's a good opportunity to use it, and I haven't really found out how to counter it, because as far as I'm aware, it's a landmine. Oh, not landmine. it's basically like a
Collection of floating mines.
yeah.
My thing,
And I'm not sure if you can actually shoot them to destroy them, or if they're just there for a limited time or whatnot. Because there was like one point in the match where it gave me like credit for eliminating a mine from the minefield. But when I would shoot at the mine thinking, oh wait, I can take those things out, and nothing happened. It was like, that's confusing. I guess I'll figure that out eventually.
yeah, yeah, it'll take some time. I think though it seems the general purpose of Wrecking Ball's build is area denial. Because he has he has the shield, he has the machine gun that like slows him down like all fuck, like it does with Orisa and Bastion. And of course, even though the cable can be used for crazy Spider-Man shit, it's very clearly supposed to be used to stick yourself to a location and spin and kill everything in that general location.
Yes, just like the payload, because if you're knocking everyone off the payload, they obviously can't get on it, so they can't like force an overtime or anything like that.
Yeah, and if you slip up and lose all your momentum, then you're a sitting duck to get shredded.
Yeah. Then you pray.
Yeah, there's something to be said there, though. Presents an interesting future for Overwatch heroes, though. Because Hammond doesn't feel like anyone else. Hammond feels like you aren't playing Overwatch. Hammond feels like you're playing in a different game entirely.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, like, where can it go from here? If we get Jetpack Cat, man, what if?
Yes.
I said it last time and I'll say it again.
Stop Overwatch then, because there will be that will be their peak. There's no getting better than that.
No. We won't be finished until they get the rivalry. Jetpack Cat versus Rocket Boots Dog.
Yes. I rescind my previous statement.
What'd you say, Addy, that got buried underneath the Jetpack Cat talk?
But I said it last time and I'll say it again. Bazooka Goat.
Bazooka Goat!
Perfect! It's like, Overwatch is just going to become like the Animal Kingdom.
Animal shooter.
Winston started it. Now it can't be stopped.
But like, what can you do? Like melee giraffe. Why not?
Melee giraffe.
No, Sniper Giraffe would make more sense.
Yeah.
God.
Make a pterodactyl that's basically just carpet bombing.
So yeah, that is gonna be incredible. I got some time in with Hammond as well. It seems like I'm not very good at that parkour thing that you can do with him, but it seems like Hammond is going to be able to reach spots that no one else could. Like, I mean, Farr is still going to be up there as the most mobile hero, but Hammond's going to give a proper Hammond could compete, definitely. He won't be able to get as high, but he can go as fast.
I'm going to see if I can try to get high.
Well, first you buy...
I'm going to walk my little hamster butt up there, and I'm going to cannonball her down.
But if you want to get high, first you just gotta buy some ganja.
First you gotta buy some Genji. Alright. Oh, man.
Do they not call weed ganja over there?
I've heard it called Ganya, yeah. Well, I think it's called Ganya in, like, Jamaica, maybe, but... And other than that, there is the last really topic we want to hit today. The next upcoming god for Smite has been revealed. Pele, the goddess of volcanoes.
Yeah, so it's really brave of Hi-Res to include not only someone who's not that much of a god, but also someone who still lives, including a soccer player like that.
Yeah, but me, I don't know about you, but I think his ult looks a little bit overpowered, How he just punts someone else to the other side of the map, and then the announcer goes, "Goal!"
Yeah, but it just satisfies Brazil people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, at the start of every character's release, they kind of have to be overpowered.
Yeah,
But
so
the
they can.
patch, like immediately after, that's when they get nerfed to all hell and they become unviable and everything. So it
Yeah.
balances itself out eventually.
Though it is weird how the only animations he has, like they advise you to build him attack and movement speed, and his only animations are kicks.
Yeah, but he's got some damn good ones. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The soccer ball projectile is a little weird. Makes you wonder what the fuck kind of soccer ball it's supposed to be. I mean, a soccer ball that can kill Thor? Come on. Okay, anyways, yeah, it's not actually Pele from soccer. It's Pele, the actual, like, Polynesian goddess of volcanoes.
Hawaii.
The goddess of Hawaii, yeah. Yeah, the goddess of volcanoes. I think she looks really interesting, but everyone knows I suck with assassins, so...
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna pick her up. I have the money.
Yeah. If she's coming out for one favor, like some of the other gods have, then, like, yeah, of course I'm going to pick her up.
No, I actually have the money to buy another character, and I have 200 gems.
Alright, sweet.
So, it doesn't matter. I can get her anyway. Unless they price her at like freaking 1,500 gems.
I don't think they do that. They haven't like increased the price to purchase gods with any of the other releases. I don't see them.
I
doing that.
don't remember how much Samedi cost.
Samedi, I'm pretty sure Samedi is the same as everyone else.
At launch, I think the favor used to be higher, but they may have changed that since it's been 2 years since I started playing, so I don't know.
I don't know. I paid for him in gems as well.
Ah,
But yeah, she looks interesting. Her tree, yes, her tree, seems interesting in the whole opening up opening up a bigger area of effect that that gets affected with a delay.
Yeah, well, I was watching that video, the reveal video, and I was like, these are cool moves, but how is this supposed to be an assassin? And then I saw that buff move, and I was like, okay, that's how she's an assassin.
Yeah.
There's also something to be said about her little projectile thing she can do there. Because it's like Thor's hammer with no teleport, but better,
Yeah.
Because she sends it out once, and then it comes back 3 fucking times. And the area of effect thing, is there anything like that area of effect already in the game? Because I don't think I've seen something.
Kind of Susanoo's. Susanoo has I think it's his 3, where it affects 3 different areas of effect.
Oh, right, that thing. Yeah. Well, that's a combo, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the only one that I know of.
the closest thing I could compare it to is Geb's little landslide thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely reminded of that a little bit. But the thing, I'm, of course, I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but now that they're getting into the Polynesian gods, I am really interested to see where they go with Maui.
Yes, it's like a whole lot of interesting stuff they could do. I'm really excited for Hera personally. I don't know what they'll do with her, but I'm happy to have her in the game so she can kill Hercules. Like she wanted to all those years ago.
You only want her. You only
Also
want her
kick
so you can.
ass because he's so unloyal.
You only want her in the game so she can join your harem.
Shut up. God.
Pele looks cool.
Pele looks damn cool. And
Yeah.
I'm really glad that they're opening up alternative more mythologies. Cause don't get me wrong, I dig all the gods they've gotten so far, but I'm interested to see them expand into even more different design ideas,
Yeah.
Cause
I'm glad they. Go ahead.
I do want to go ahead and say, though, is there anyone they can get from the Voodoo Pantheon other than Samedi? Because I can't think of anyone else from the Voodoo Pantheon. I'm sure
They can get
Try,
that.
but I'm not proficient in voodoo.
I'm sure there is one, but it's just it's going to be pulling even more than Samedi was.
I don't know anything about the voodoo stuff, so yeah.
All right, come back next week when I do research on voodoo.
The only thing that really stuck out to me with Pele is that she's goddess of volcanoes, and sometimes with her kit and her overall character design, I don't kind of feel that volcanic inspiration from her.
Right, but it's Smite. They had to make their stupid waifu, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I don't get why Pele, goddess of volcanoes, is an assassin. Doesn't goddess of volcanoes seem like it should be a guardian thing?
To me, it seems like a mage thing, but then there's freaking...
There's too many
there's
mages
Soul,
already.
Yeah. And then there's also the...
fulfills the fiery mage type.
It's not even that. Like, there's Soul, there's freaking Vulcan, whose name is literally Vulcan. Volcano. Then
Volcano.
I'm sure that there's Agni.
Agni, yeah. If they did a fire
And then-
mage again, they wouldn't be able to do another one like Agni.
So there's too many fire mages.
Yeah. There's too many mages in general. I'd like to see the other classes catch up at least a little bit. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys have checked out the Warrior page. The Warriors still only have 2 pages worth of gods.
Yeah. It's like I really enjoy all the warriors that I've played, but they have a very small character selection, and a lot of them play basically the same. So I'd like to see some more variety with those classes. Or
Honestly, I just
not
want-
those classes, but that class. It's like, I still don't understand why they didn't make Ares a warrior, because in my opinion, he should be playing like Achilles does. But instead, Ares is a guardian and has a moveset that I would associate more with like Hades or something. Which I'm pretty sure I've spoken about this either on a podcast or just in general.
Well, didn't Hades
of where
used to
I
be a
feel
guard?
like
I think Hades was a guardian at launch, so who the fuck knows?
Hades is still a guardian.
Is
Hades is not.
He's a-
Hades is a mage.
Hades is a mage.
Yeah, sorry, I was confusing Hades with Ares. It sounds too similar for my brain to compute.
Hades is just too fucking weird. Because, like, you start as a guardian, he plays more like an assassin. So instead of putting him in either of those categories, they made him a mage. What? So yeah, hopefully Pele will be interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate about her. I appreciate that they took her high heels off because, yeah, when they came out with the concepts, she wore high heels, and yeah,
I am sick to death of high heels getting arbitrarily thrown into women's designs in video games.
yeah, me too.
It looks so fucking stupid. No one should be able to run in that shit.
The only way I can accept high heels anymore if the character is an assassin and kills people with their high heels.
Yeah, that possibility crosses my mind. If do
you know how high you'd have to kick for that to happen?
Just take the high heels off and then beat them to death.
Do you know
Push
how
them to
much
their
time
neck.
that would take to take the high heel off to shove it in somebody's face?
Well, hey, murder
Not
should
happening.
take time, Pink. Murder should take time. I'm reminded
I
of
feel like Smite.
didn't Catwoman in Dark Knight Rises have fucking high heels that would recede back in Reboot when she was walking, and she'd only pull them out when she was fighting?
Maybe.
Because I want to say
No
there was a
idea.
part where she threatened a person by putting her foot to his neck and then pulling it out, and like putting the high heel to his neck or something like that.
I remember something like that. Yeah.
What the fuck was going on in that movie?
I've been asking myself that question for how long has it been out now? Doesn't matter.
6
Terrible.
years. 6
years.
Six
Felt
fucking
longer.
years since Dark Knight Rises. Damn. I would not have thought that. Dark Knight.
Like 10 years since Dark Knight, whatever that one was.
Just Dark Knight.
Just Dark Knight.
Yeah, 10 years since Dark Knight. 10 years since Heath Ledger passed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I quite enjoyed Heath Ledger. Rest in peace.
Yep. So I think that's about all that we got for topics. We can go ahead and move on to what we've done this past week. I think Addie and me have done a fair bit. How about you, Pink? Oh shit, it's the past 2 weeks because
Past 2 weeks. I don't think I've done anything that I haven't already discussed. If something crosses my mind, I'll be sure to chime in.
Well, then it's just me and Addie, and I don't know how much Addie's done, but I've certainly done a fair bit.
I can go ahead.
Okay,
If you
because
want me to.
there is one thing that you and I will both be talking about, so whoever goes first, we're going to hit that topic.
Yeah.
Alright, so go ahead.
Okay, so to start things off, I'm bringing this up first so we can get over with it. You asked me on the last podcast to continue watching My Hero Academia, so I can tell you how it is.
Okay, how is it?
Yeah, so I watched all of the seasons, well, all of the episodes that are out. I think it's on episode 3, or episode 3, freaking season 3, episode 15 or so. And it's not bad. People who say that it gives them Naruto vibes are not wrong, from my experience. But there are some spoilery stuff. Should we give a spoiler warning, or should I just not talk about the spoilers?
I don't know how recent the season came out. I'll say for me, like, the potential that I might get into the show, which it'd still be a way off, but there is potential. Now let's go ahead and avoid it.
All right, but let's just say, without avoiding spoilers, that they from what I could tell, how it felt to me is that they took an arc from Naruto and then parodied it basically.
Oh, is it the one arc everybody hates, Sasuke retrieval or something?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes, when it started off, I was fearing that they would go with the Sasuke retrieval way, because it would have been telegraphed, and then they just flip it on its head, and I appreciated that because Sasuke retrieval sucked,
Oh,
like even more so than normal Naruto. Sasuke retrieval was freaking trash.
can we? I want the whole
Yeah.
show to be at least partially devoted to, man, Naruto fucking sucks.
I mean, if you want to discuss how much bad one arc can do, the only reason Naruto Shippuden exists, aside from money, is because of Sasuke retrieval. So,
Yeah.
like, seriously, Naruto Shippuden is just Sasuke retrieval for the 400 episodes of it, and then in that episode, Sasuke joins them again, and that's it. So
After Sasuke
Anyway.
murders several innocents?
no, after Sasuke murders way too many people, like. I think at one point he murders a village.
To talk about weirdo anime morality, I'm reminded of Vegeta, where Vegeta killed a lot of people back in the day, but he turned good later on. And then Sasuke started off good, murdered a ton of people, then Naruto's like, okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I think he's half between wanted criminal and like excused for his crimes, because Naruto excused him and got the other Hokage to not kill him, but he's still like on the edge of being killed or something like that, from what I remember.
And then he got Sakura pregnant and ran away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Also,
a...
I just realized that I called the other Kages the Hokages. Man, I should know better. Then again, I don't give a shit. It's
Yeah,
Naruto.
it's better not to know better. I'm embarrassed of what I know of Naruto, so...
But yeah, as for My Hero Academia, they go about the. Well, at first I didn't like the concept of Deku, who's the main character. His name is Midoriya, I want to say. Something Midoriya, yeah.
who everybody calls Green Naruto.
Yeah. His hero name is Deku. So yeah. At first I didn't like how, he just gets our power and all that, but they make him work for it. So, it's not just, I'm Superman now. I'm Superman. Yeah?
How much crying and how much turning into naked women does this guy do?
Naked women, none. Actually, I think he keeps up. He has a perfect classmate that I think he keeps him away from the women. So there's a plus. And
Why do you still watch that show?
and the crying, it gets better.
Okay,
It gets better.
that's good to hear. How much of not like weirdo pedophilic nonsense is there in that show? Because that's always a Japan problem for me.
Oh yeah.
Only one character has stuff with that, and he's like smaller than everyone else. Not that that makes it better, but you know.
He's a full-grown man, but he's smaller than the children.
No, he's a child as well.
Okay, so it's just a little kid that thinks he's a ladies' man?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm good with little kids thinking they're ladies' men, because then that can be used for jokes. As long as it never actually gets creepy, you know?
I mean,
Yeah, but little kids
it's just for jokes, from what I could tell.
Okay, and please tell me there just isn't very much fan service to begin with anyways?
None that I could tell.
Alright, that's good to hear. Like, that's always the big thing for me going into Japan stuff, is how much half-naked women did they shove in for no reason?
Did they fulfill their quota mandated by the Japanese government this time?
So far,
Okay, it might be watchable.
so far in the 3 seasons that it has, there's one episode where the characters are in bikinis and, you know, swimming shorts and all that, and that's a filler episode at the start of season 3, I want to say, and that's it.
Fucking Japan with their beach episodes, man.
Yeah.
Also, when Pink said mandated by the Japanese government, I thought of Antonio Inoki, like, personally coming down from the Japanese diet. Like, no, there isn't enough nudity in this anime. We need more. And he's wearing, like, the usual Antonio Inoki, like, outfit of the white suit with the red scarf. And he puts one of the guys in an arm bar.
But yeah, like even the asshole-ish antagonist is like he gets better. He starts hating the main character for reasons other than just being an asshole. And yeah, mainly the people you will probably watch the most are the secondary characters. Like my favorite is Tokoyami, I think is his name. He's basically Crow.
Is
like
he
a
the
human
one?
crow.
Is he the one with the half red, half white hair?
No, that's I don't remember his name. But no, that's not him. That's the that's one of the other rivals that Deku has. Tokoyami is just a man with a crow's head, basically, and he basically has a stand, and it's called Dark Shadow because of course.
I assume that's not a reference to the old 1960s American television series?
I doubt it. In the series, did they control shadows and try to beat people with them?
Okay, is this a series where everybody has a stand, or is it just that one character?
No, it's that one guy.
Okay, that's good to hear, because I think that's one of the lame things about JoJo, that everybody has powers, they're just that.
We'll come back to JoJo.
Ha!
Yeah, so, but everybody has their interesting parts of their repertoire. Like the guy you mentioned, the half and half. That's literally his power. He's literally called half and half, by the way.
It would be better if his name was Neapolitan ice cream.
Yeah. So his thing is that he can control fire and ice.
Oh,
but his father.
So he's Gil.
Yeah, he's Gil.
That's cool.
But his father, who he's the fire guy, his father was abusive, so he hates the fire side, and he needs the main character to tell him to use the fire side to, you know, come to terms with it.
That's actually really interesting. I dig that.
So,
I dig that concept.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens. The main antagonist goes through a thing of hating the main character because he's dorky, to hating the main character because he's better than him, to trying to get better than the main character.
Okay, so we got a Lex Luthor antagonist.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what other interesting parts? The principal of the school is like a rat. He's basically Excalibur from Soul Eater. You won't know it, or know what I'm talking about. But yeah, his thing is that
is he a rat with superpowers, or is it just a rat wearing a tiny little suit?
He's a rat with superpowers, but his superpower is that he's intelligent.
Okay. So animals can get superpowers in this universe?
Apparently so, yeah.
Okay.
There's also one of my favorite, like, I guess, supporting characters is just a policeman that's a cat.
I'm in. Sold.
So am I.
Like they don't treat him any different than any other policeman. He's just a cat, and the police chief is a dog.
He misses all the crimes because he's too busy attacking a ball of yarn.
Criminals get away because he gets distracted by little red lights.
When he actually catches the criminal, he spits out hairballs on him.
Yeah. And yeah, there are also, actual heroes. Like, they make fun of, all the Japanese superheroes being like erotic and all that. So they made a character whose nickname is the 18+ superhero or something like that.
Oh Jesus!
And her whole thing is that she seduces people and all that.
Yeah, there we go.
And yeah, she's a parody, more or less. Her like superpower, or one of her super moves, is that she releases like gas, not fart gas.
I was about to say, well, that sounds decidedly unerotic.
Yeah.
Unless you're into that.
I mean, unless she farts pink. I don't know, but yeah. The thing is that when people who really get seduced by her more easily, and it works more effectively on men. Then there's also like a girl who's a new up-and-comer who's just Ant-Man, basically, or what's his name, Adam. Or not Adam, because Adam would shrink down, wouldn't he? But yeah, basically she's a giant. She can turn into a giant.
Giant man, then.
Yeah. There's a guy who's a ninja, but also a tree.
Wait. Is it a tree that got the
The
power?
ultimate stealth move.
Become
tree.
Is it a tree that can turn into a ninja, or a ninja that can turn into a tree?
Not explained.
Okay.
So
I'm just gonna assume that it was a tree that turned into a ninja.
Yeah, I want Ninja Groot is what I want out of this.
Yeah, and then there's also a guy who's called I think Master Jeans or something like that, or Mr. Jeans, something like that, and he wears jeans to his mouth.
That's his
like
superpower.
No, his superpower is like unseeable stitching. Seriously.
What the fuck? Okay. Well.
Yeah. And he wears a pair of jeans, but the jeans go up to his mouth or like his nose, and it has arms, or place for his arms to poke out.
He basically wears a big denim onesie.
Yes, more or less. Yeah.
All right.
As for
I am now interested.
Yeah, you should probably pick up on it if you can survive through the first season, which is the worst one, because that's the one where the main character cries the most. Then it will get better. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have to look into that. Yeah.
Yeah. As for other things that I watched, I tried to get into JoJo again. I watched not Diamond is Unbreakable because that's the new one, or the newer one. I don't remember. What the subtitle is, whatever, the one with Jotaro. And yeah, no. I got bored 3 episodes in.
Bored?
So, yeah.
Bored would not be the reaction I'd imagine. Like, if there's a reaction I'd imagine would cause you to leave the series, it'd be like disgust or confusion, but not boredom.
No, after a while, all the stupid shit that they do just became samey to me, so I got bored.
I suppose that's understandable.
But yeah, so I dropped it after the 3rd episode because yeah. I also watched through Pop Team Epic.
I've never heard of that.
Pop Team Epic is this absurdist, well, apparently absurdist according to Wikipedia, absurdist comedy show that was aired it was aired in commercial breaks in anime.
Okay,
So it was paired with an anime. I don't know which one, but whenever it went to commercial break, Pop Team Epic would play, and then commercials or something like that. That's usually how they do it over here.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, yeah, I recognize this. All I have to do is bring up a picture, and I think Pink would probably recognize it as well. Like, I'll go get the picture. You keep talking.
All right, so these are like 10 minutes. Well, the how I watched them, they were 10 minutes. Like I don't know, basically just skits chained together. And yeah, I didn't understand a lot of the comedy because I don't know.
What the heck?
Yeah, that those are the main characters.
Those are some
The
big fingers.
Yeah, so the smaller one, the blonde one, is Popu-chan. I don't know why I said Chan. I guess it's because that's the only way I heard her name.
Is the show anything similar to Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Never watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Do yourself a service and watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I have no means of doing so, but why not?
They have like the highlights on YouTube, I think. Like you can
Alright,
watch that
I'll
and
give
get
it
you can get the
I'll
gist
give
of
it
it.
a chance then.
All right.
But yeah, the smaller one is Popu. The bigger one is Pippi, from what I understand.
Okay.
That's why the show in Japanese is called Poputipiku or something.
That one on the right is just a hot dog in like a dress thing.
Yeah,
That's exactly
he
what I
is.
was thinking. Oh man,
So,
this is the one that I see all the memes coming out of, right? Like of the little girl going,
yes,
"Fuck you."
that's why I wanted to watch it, because maybe it would be like so stupid that it would be funny, and then it wasn't, because
Addy was just looking for some new, fresh memes.
yeah, more or less.
The memes in his pantry have gone bad. He needs to go to the market to get some fresh ones.
So, things that I enjoyed. For one, in the first episode, they go through. Well, there's this whole like ongoing story kind of that happens, but also doesn't happen. It's weird, but yeah. Basically, the whole first episode was just glitching, and
What, reality just breaks?
yes, more or less.
Okay, that sounds like Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
And they do things like parodying the Chrono Trigger intro. Like, I mean the part where you run into the princess.
Okay, so a reference that would be lost on a lot of people then.
Yeah, I appreciated it because I like Chrono Trigger, and whatever references people make, I will appreciate. But yeah, that was the first episode. After that, I enjoyed things like there were multiple. Well, from what I can tell, there were either multiple animation studios or animation teams working on the series, because one style is the one you see, and the other style was drawn like shit on purpose. And yeah, the normal versions that you see are the Bob Team Epic versions. There was also the Bob Epic Team versions, which are the shittily drawn ones. The thing that I enjoyed, that has to do something with this, is that sometimes they would take the same base basically, and then work on it in their own way, or continue each other's skits. So say there's a skit where Popu chases after a rabbit in the normal show. In the Bob Team Epic version, she's still chasing after it, only she's trying to kill it or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that maybe I should be looking into this as well. Cause this sounds like my kind of comedy. I don't know.
Other thing that I liked, friggin', they have songs sometimes because they are supposed to be idols, singers.
Oh well, there we go. Fuck Japan.
Yeah, and there's a whole thing where Pippi is Popu's manager, and she keeps firing people from Popu's side because they keep telling her that she needs to tell her to quit smoking because it ruins her image. So she tells her to quit smoking, and then she starts smoking cigars, and she says, "Good girl." Like, that was funny. I liked that. But too bad that a lot of the comedy wasn't that, or at least a lot of the comedy I didn't understand, so I couldn't get it like that.
Did anyone else grow up hearing from people that cigars were supposed to be healthier than cigarettes?
But I didn't hear it.
I remember people saying that to me all the time, and I couldn't tell if it was bullshit or not.
Yeah, I grew up hearing that both of them would kill me indefinitely, so...
Yeah, another thing that I liked is that there's this part where they parody like old mafia movies.
Oh,
Yeah, so that it has its highlights. It's just if you binge the whole series in like a day, it's few and far in between. if you're a sensible person, then you will probably like the series. I binged through the whole series in one sitting. So yeah,
I am interested just to see like the little anime girl there is like Vito Corleone, Marlon Brando, and Godfather.
there's a part where I won't spoil it actually because it's the big joke. Like it's a big joke in the mafia part.
All right, yeah, it'd probably be better for me to get it in the actual series.
Yeah. I was going to say something else. Yeah. Oh, right. The whole like ongoing story is that, well, everybody knows that they came from a shitty manga, as described by the show, and there's like a board of directors or something trying to shut the anime off as well.
I'm not a fan of when they do that in TV shows, saying, "Hey, the board of directors are trying to shut us down. Fuck them." Like,
Yeah, the show ends with them killing the board of directors.
Oh, okay. What? Like with machine guns? Or...
No, with a bat that has studs or whatever.
Oh, okay. A brutal They caved their skulls in brutally.
No, you don't actually see it.
Oh.
You see them arriving, and then they leave.
Okay. Well, yeah, that sounds like a show that I should probably look into.
But yeah, all right, I know what I was going to say. So they had this one song where it's like, for one half of it is all lovey-dovey, basic J-pop. The other half is on the same beat and same backing track. They start saying the F word and saying "I'll kill you" and things like that.
So it turns into a Rage Against the Machine song.
Yeah, basically. Only it's more poppy. Actually, I wouldn't know because I never listened to Rage Against the Machine, but yeah.
So it's baby metal, is what you're describing.
No, because it has no metal parts in the instrumental. It's just the lyrics.
Oh, well, okay.
So, there's still this, like, bright pop background noise, and then they're saying, "I'll kill you."
Oh, man. So what'd you do in terms of gaming?
In terms of gaming, I finished Mafia 2 in 2 days.
Okay, how was it?
I liked it. I thought it was a bit short.
Did you
Finished it in 2 days. Felt kind of short.
Did you collect all of the Playboy nudes?
No.
Okay. That's always what I think of when I think of Mafia 2, because to me that just seems like a really... Like, is it just me, or is it, like, really insulting when they include that kind of stuff in video games?
It is.
Like,
The collect multiple items thing, or the collect nude things?
The collect nude things.
Oh. I would have said yes to either, or...
Yeah. Well, it depends on what kind of collection. Like, is it just along the path anyways?
The thing that I disliked about the game is that it doesn't have an open world after you finish it.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's really bad in a free roam game, cutting it off at the end mission. That's...
Yeah.
Whew. I'd assume that means the game ends with the protagonist dying.
No.
What?
No, I think he appears in Mafia 3, but I'm not sure.
Why would you not allow the player to continue to mess around if the protagonist is still alive?
I mean, I'm not sure. He might not be alive. It's implied that his friend is killed, but or why not implied, they flat out, like, basically flat out say that he's killed. But the protagonist is a bit in the gray.
Huh. That is really stupid for a free roam game, because that's
Yeah.
a large part of the joy of finishing a free roam game is when they hand you the $25 million and say, go do whatever the fuck you want.
Well, yeah, but then there's also the thing where you will buy items twice, and even thrice, because there's parts of the game where
They take
something
away all
happens
your items?
Yes,
Fuck.
like say you bought this like long coat. You can only buy them in freaking sets, but yeah, you bought this long coat that you like. Well, guess what? The house burned down, and you need to buy it again, and it's $150, and you have none because that was in the house as well. That's actually a thing that happens.
I get doing that for story purposes, but from a gameplay perspective, that is a pretty big fuck you to the player.
Yeah, especially since after that, you need to buy, you need to go to your friend because you're basically naked.
Oh,
So,
good.
yeah, so you need to go to your friend who will give you freaking like Hawaii shirt, and that's your clothing for the while.
A Hawaii shirt in the 1940s, you'd look extra dipshit-ish.
But yeah, I did that. I played a bit of the DMC reboot.
Oh my, so have I. Oh.
Yeah, we can come back to it when you talk about it because you will have more to say. So
Yeah.
that's what else did I do? I finished another game. Yeah, right, yeah. Just today I finished Ratchet and Clank,
Oh, what'd you think
the
of it?
reboot. It grew on me.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best Ratchet and Clank I've played, but I have not played most of the series. I've only played the first 3 games, I think.
I haven't played any other than this.
Oh, okay. So what'd you think of your first experience with it?
It's probably not gonna change my opinion on 3D platformers, but it wasn't much of 3D or that wasn't that bloody words.
It's
It
more
wasn't
shooting
that
than
much
it
of a
is platforming.
Yeah. As for the shooting, I didn't do that a lot either because I just had the guns where you can send out minions. Like
Yes.
there's Hand of Doom, and then there's another one that I forget the name of, Mr. Volkov or something like that.
Yeah, the little droid minions, those things.
Yeah, so I just did that. Like I just sent out minions with the Hand of Doom, and then sent out the shooty ones, and then beat people to that with wrench.
Ha! I always loved the little animation Ratchet has for when he throws the drones out. Because if you do it while Ratchet's running, it's just so casual. Like, oh, a little robot there, a little robot here, a little robot over there, why not? It is a pity you
Right.
didn't get to mess around with some of the more fun guns, though, because they get pretty nice, pretty neat later
I
on.
got most of the guns. Actually, I think I got all of them, all of the basic ones.
Oh, I'd imagine you didn't get the crazy huge rhino. The thing
No.
that nukes everything on the screen.
No, I couldn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't either, unfortunately. Because it relied on the trading card system, didn't it?
Yeah, it does. You need to get all of the Rhino trading cards.
Yeah,
I have like 5.
I just wasn't gonna do that.
I actually got invested in the trading card system just because it gave me upgrades to getting rare obtainium or something, like whatever the premium currency was to upgrading your weapons.
Yeah, I thought the trading card system was fun, but it wasn't something. Making the Rhino depend on rare trading card loot drops made it like just too much of a pain in the ass to get, you know?
Yeah.
The story,
So
little CGI cutscenes they stole from the movie were pretty fun. And better to do that than watch the fucking awful movie.
yeah. So is that why there wasn't a seamless transition between cutscene and the game?
Yes, because they legitimately just took clips from the movie for most of the cutscenes.
Alright, that explains it, because I was like, why wouldn't they just make it seamless?
Yeah.
freaking Assassin's Creed did it in 2011 on 360. Why can't you make it seamless in freaking whenever it came out on freaking PS4?
2016, I want to say, maybe 2015. It is the nice added benefit, though, of having a Ratchet and Clank game with the crazy cast of Paul Giamatti, Rosario Dawson. Who else was in that movie? Wasn't Sylvester Stallone in that movie?
I wouldn't know.
I think he was. I definitely remember that movie having a shockingly good cast. Well, not necessarily good, but big cast.
Big cast. You can't teach that. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought the upgrades were fun. Though sometimes sometimes I wouldn't have minded a minimap or like one of those Skyrim lines where it tells you where things are.
Well, I mean, it is a 3D platformer, and a big element of those, ever since the original Super Mario 64, has been exploration.
Yeah, but I hate exploration. But yeah, the problem I had is that there's some upgrades hidden behind stuff once you leave the planets, and the thing is that I went back, say, to the cave. There's a cave on the second planet that you go to, and you need to find some upgrade there. I don't know which one, because it either fell through the freaking map, or it was like a level under or above me. I don't know.
There's a rock that can only be... There's a rock that you need to destroy with explosives.
Oh.
And it's behind the rock, and that's it.
But the marker wasn't out in the open.
Right, but they still want you to find it if they went it that far to hide it.
I guess I'll have to go back and blow shit up.
Oh, hey, it's Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank. His Clank's evil twin is named Clack, probably.
I love it.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank blowing up shit is the name of the game. Probably literally for one of their games.
I mean, one of them is named after neither of them having underpants.
Every Ratchet and Clank title except for like one or two is actually supposed to be an innuendo. Because they had
I know.
Going commando, up your arsenal, size matters, and they had the co-op game All for One. It was originally supposed to be named Foursome.
Oh.
That one couldn't get past the censors. They were like, no, we have to stop here. We can't let you do that.
just take out the capability to play as 3 people and name it Manager Troa.
I want them to go full for it on one of these games. Like the next game will be Ratchet and Clank Doggy Style. They'll say it ain't named after the sex thing. It's named after the Snoop Dogg album.
Yeah. If you order now, you will get special Ratchet and Clank branded anal beads.
Oh god. And they're all shaped like Clank's head.
Yeah. But with the helicopter capability.
Yeah, to enhance the feeling. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
So that's ruined my childhood. Thank you, Addy.
You're welcome. So, I think that I didn't like it is the freaking words. The chase scenes, finally.
Yes, those were very awkward. I definitely remember those being... It's always the issue of whenever the camera is facing your character and you're supposed to run towards the camera because you can't see what's in front of you.
Yeah. Also, they borrowed a lot from Sonic Adventure.
I'd imagine a lot of 3D platformers borrow from Sonic Adventure, because wasn't it one of the big innovators?
No idea. But like the chase scenes, for one, I know that I hated it in Sonic Adventure. I don't like them in this either. They also had like basically the same rail grinding animation. The only thing I was missing is a boost button because at that point you might as well.
Rail grinding in Ratchet and Clank actually goes back to the first entry in 2001. Which is 2001 older than Sonic Adventure games?
Let me check. I think it's either at the same time or a bit older, but maybe the first one was. Did the first one have rail grinding? I think it was. I think in the second one. That's like 2003.
I do not know.
Let me look it up.
But yeah, the chase sequences.
Right. So Sonic Adventure, the original one, is a 1998 game.
Damn, I did not know that. That game looks good for being from 1998.
Yeah. And the second game, if I could find a link to it, but I won't. Come on, you freaking include links for Sonic Extreme. There we go. Okay, the second game was 2001. So, I need to look up.
It would have been the
It would have
same
been
time.
months. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh, did you play anything other than? You play anything else?
Let me think about it. I did play through Sengoku Basara again. Sengoku Basara Sunday Ultimate Den. I just butchered that really badly.
Oh, it'll get worse if we ever play through it for the channel.
We will. Only when is the question, not whether we will or not.
I'll get in Oda Nobunaga.
I actually know, I actually learned some Japanese from the game, so.
Hang on, let me throw some Texan on there to make it better. Oda Nobunaga. Yeah. God.
It wasn't southern enough.
No, it wasn't. That was Brad Pitt from Inglourious Bastards there. Nazis.
Ode Nobunaga.
Oh, Nobunaga. Yeah, he was a real good Demon King.
So yeah, I played through that game because I got my own PS4 now, and because we don't have we don't have my friends anymore because he sold it. Yeah, he sold it like a year ago.
Jesus.
Or two. Yeah, he just wouldn't tell me. Then again, I knew it, but whatever. I just was waiting for him to, I was waiting for me to not have to, confront him about it. But yeah. Since we don't have that anymore, we also don't have my saves, or my save of completing the game and freaking nearly platinuming it or something.
No.
I think I went, yeah. So I had to go through all of the story again, which, I mean, I don't mind. I like the game. It's really fun. It's really stupid, but that's a part of why I like it, because, crowd fighters are not the most intellectually challenging games, and that's, I think, I think that's a plus point for them, because not every game needs to be smart. Sometimes you need stupid shit. And it's like, what? How much stupider can you get than just being this, basically God. Just going into the battlefield and killing hundreds of people with one swipe of a sword.
I need to get into Dynasty Warriors or something and see if there's, much going on there. Because the only times I've tried to get in there, I was like, okay, I know how to hit 5 guys at once, but, now I'm getting my ass kicked.
But first things first, if Dynasty Warriors is anything like Warriors Orochi, I know that both of them are Koei. So, yeah. If it's anything like that, you should probably start on easy and then work your way up the difficulties, because that's how I learned how to play Warriors Orochi 3.
Okay, alright.
And right now I'm just freaking killing the hardest bosses in the game in 3 hits, because my stuff is so overpowered. But yeah, with Sengoku Basara, really, people had a problem with the overpowered characters because all of the new characters they introduced are pretty overpowered. But I didn't, because, it's fun. I don't care, because it's not an online game and it's not like I have to share it with anyone. If I have fun, then it's a good game by my What's the word I'm looking for? Standards. Yeah. It's also like the only game that I don't regret giving a 9 to, because every game I go back to, like a month later or something, and play through them again, and I just keep finding problems where I'm going like, okay, maybe I should have given this a 9 after all, after reviewing it. Sengoku Buster I still enjoy just as much as the day I got it, so it doesn't keep me occupied for a while. Well, it did for the past day, but yeah. Like it's not a game that you will play for the rest of your life. It's a game that you play for a bit and then take a break and then come back to it and always enjoy.
What the heck?
Oh, what's going on, Pink? Oh, fuck! Pink died.
I lost Pink. Yeah.
There's the sound of an assassin coming for him. Oh, Pink's back from the dead. Necromancy. Okay, anyways, yeah. What were we talking about? My brain just farted.
I was just finishing up on Sengoku Basara. And
Okay.
by finishing up, by just finishing up, I mean I just finished it up. Aside from that, what else did I do? I played another game, but right, I played The Force Unleashed.
Oh,
Again.
Again?
Yeah, because I didn't needed the footage for a review.
oh, okay.
But yeah, I think that's about it. I don't remember what I did last week aside from watching freaking My Hero Academia and Pop Team Epic.
Alright. Well, for what I've done, I've spent these last 2 weeks moving, so that's been a pain in my ass.
I believe it.
So, the previous place I lived in had a staircase that had 3 turns on it. And it's a staircase, so the turns were pretty fucking tight. And there's a part... Like, wherever I move for the rest of my life, I swear to God, I will never buy another house with a staircase or apartment with a staircase that has a turn in it, ever. Because that makes it impossible to move shit upstairs or downstairs.
Yes.
And moving stuff upstairs sucks because you gotta push it up. Moving stuff downstairs sucks because, oh no, if I slip slightly, it'll crush me to death and then take the wall out. And you know your family is sick of moving when you're just like, fuck it, let it fall.
Yep.
Also, there's stairs going up the front steps of the house, which makes things moving things in and out a pain in the ass. And of course, we lived in an apartment, so there's a street out front, and we had to cross the street to get it to the moving truck. So that was a whole thing. But for the most part, moving is finally done, and it's been a little over a week since we've moved into this house, and I still don't feel like I've properly recovered. Half my shit is still boxed. I realized right before we started this podcast, I realized that my microphone did not have its pop filter. And I kid you not, I had to fish the pop filter out of a box full of socks and underwear. Thankfully,
Do you want to know where the pop filter has been?
It was my underwear and socks, so thankfully I don't have to worry about that too much, but still, yeah. Oh. In the meantime, I've not done a whole lot of watching or playing. When it comes to watching, I started Luke Cage Season 2. I think I made it up to episode 4 or 5. I have yet to hit the signature, the episode 6 or 7, which is usually the point in a Marvel Netflix show where they kill off the main antagonist and replace him with someone else for no reason. Punisher comes in, he gets replaced by Elektra. Cottonmouth comes in, he gets replaced by Diamondback. And what did Iron Fist do? Iron Fist kind of built up, what's-her-face, the elderly lady at first, but then it turned out to instead be Ward's dad.
Yep.
So, I hopefully they don't do that, though, because Bushwhacker, so far, is fucking awesome. the casting for Bushwhacker is incredible. Because, like, he's a very naturally intimidating looking dude. Like, he looks like one mean son of a bitch when he wants to be. But at the same time, he's perfectly capable of flipping the switch and being a very genial, genuinely nice guy when he's around his friends and family. And the way he goes about, like, pursuing his goals, the actor does a very good job of conveying the character's conviction and how obsessive he is about chasing after it. And, of course, he's Jamaican, and the Jamaican accent is always a fun one to listen to. I think the Jamaican accent is honestly one of the best accents in the world. Like, it's in the competition up there, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And just about all of the returning cast is great. Obviously, Rosario Dawson as Claire, I'm still bored with. And it's just like, please leave. Like, it certainly doesn't help that she's basically at this point she's the only thing keeping Luke from getting back together with Jessica. So, you know. And I actually enjoyed the Luke and Jessica getting married thing in the comics. And I'd like to see it happen again in the TV show, but whatever. Misty is still cool. Misty was damn cool in the previous stuff. And Colleen has showed up, and she's on the cast. At least so far, it seems. And man, are they really building up the idea for, like, hey, do you guys want to see a Daughters of the Dragon TV series? Because we're getting a lot of Misty and Colleen team-ups in this series so far.
She's running off to greener pastures after Iron Fist.
Yeah, hopefully. Dude, I got at one point she says, me and Danny, and I was like, fuck, I forgot her and Danny were supposed to be dating. Didn't Danny date Misty for a little bit in the comics?
I'm pretty sure Danny and Misty are the, what's the proper word? Canon is not quite the word, but it's the word I'm going to use. The canon couple as of right now. I believe Colleen was Danny's love interest back in the 70s or whenever his comic first started.
I think
like
back
70s, 80s, but modern day it's Danny and Misty.
I think either late 70s or early 80s, though, they did have a Danny-Misty thing, because I think Danny and Misty have, like, the record for first interracial relationship in comics.
Yes. Yeah. Because that was when Byrne was on Iron Fist, I believe.
Yeah. Because Danny was getting with Misty, and Luke was getting with every other woman in the town.
Yeah, that's right.
They really are, for some reason, they are playing up Luke's, big whole thing of being Big Mr. Sexy this series. Which continues to be hilarious, because he's a superhero, but they spend a lot of time talking about his sex appeal, so it's like, okay. There is one really, really cringe part where they're beginning to play into the hero for hire part of Luke. Like, he's building up a much bigger ego, and he's beginning to look into the idea of doing superhero work for pay. Which I'm a fan of doing this, because that's a major thing in the comics. I thought that was a kind of a thing they missed out on with Luke in the TV shows prior, was they missed out on his humongous ego. So I'm glad to see they're playing into that a bit more. But there's an awful part, though, where he gets recorded fighting a couple of gangsters, and after he beats up the gangsters, he dabs in front of the camera.
And everyone died a little on the inside.
He beat the criminals non-lethally, but when he dabbed, their heads exploded. Popped like balloons, they did. Mariah Dillard, it continues to be actually one of the best parts of the show, because Alfre Woodard is a damn good villain actress. I'm iffy on Shades, because it's hard to tell whether his actor is just bad, or if it's supposed to be that Shades is lacking in emotion.
Yeah, I forgot about Shades.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, the thing is, Shades was attached to two characters, attached to Mariah and Diamondback, who both had, infinitely more personality than Shades himself did.
Mm-hmm.
Big Mr. Diamondback, who walks up and punches a cop in the middle of the street so hard his chest caves in, and then walks back down the street yelling, "I'm Luke Cage!" That was the dumbest part of season 1. Do you remember that?
I don't. I think I stopped watching at that point because I watched the first 3 episodes, but then stopped and then just watched the finale.
Okay.
So there's a decent chunk of Luke Cage that I still have not seen.
Okay, so you were like, hey, what happened to Cottonmouth?
Oh no, I saw him get killed.
Yeah, he got it pretty hard.
I think that was when I stopped watching, officially.
Like, the thing about Cottonmouth's murder especially is, there becomes past a certain point where it can't just be Mariah doing it emotionally. After chucking him outside the window, that's emotional. Sure, I'll accept that as the emotional response. When she goes down and then caves his skull in with a lamp, then it's like, okay, this has to be intentional.
Yeah.
And Cottonmouth's legacy is pretty noticeable in this show, though they did replace his big portrait of Notorious B.I.G., which is sad. Because I thought that was actually one of the neater parts of Cottonmouth's office. Trying to think of what else to say. I've not gotten too far, and I don't want to get too much into spoilers here. I might have gotten to the point where they are bringing in Danny a little bit. Which I said after Iron Fist bombed, Danny shouldn't get his own show. Danny should go back to being Luke's sidekick. I don't say that just as a mean thing to Iron Fist. I don't mind Iron Fist. But Iron Fist's personality works with Luke Cage's in such a way that I think it works.
Yeah.
Because Danny is just about everything Luke isn't. Luke has a huge ego. Danny's a little bit more humble. But Danny can be a little bit too goofy sometimes. Luke knows when to be serious. All that.
Right.
So that's pretty good. In terms of gaming, I've put a little bit of time into, obviously, Overwatch. I went putting a little bit time into Sims 3 because I have a yearly ritual of binging Sims for a month and then never playing it again for a year and then going back, And I continue to be one of the only 5 people on Earth who plays Sims without killing anyone. I'm still working on the build up to Devil May. Let's call it the road to Devil May Cry 5. So I finished Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, which it's good that this was the 2-week one because I needed 2 weeks to beat that game. Because Devil May Cry, first Devil May Cry, 18 levels. Devil May Cry 2, effectively 32 levels if you consider both characters. Devil May Cry 3, 20 levels, but you'd have to play through once as Dante, once as Virgil, so there's effectively 40 levels. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition adds the additional playable characters of Virgil, Lady, and Trish. So you have to play through the game 3 times. So I have played 60 levels of Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition. So,
like a lot?
Yeah, it is. The Special Edition came out after the reboot and was basically the confirmation of Capcom saying, okay, we've torched the reboot, let's go back to the actual Devil May Cry. And it shows that Special Edition was very much their attempt at getting the fans back on board. Because all the new characters, Virgil is very much like how he played in 3, but better. And he can... I won't go too much into detail. And they introduced Lady, who had already been a series character, but everybody wanted her to be playable, so now she's playable. And they brought back Trish, who was only previously playable in Devil May Cry 2. So it's very clearly a tribute to the fans after shitting on the fans' faces with the reboot. And it's always funny when companies have to do that, wait, walk that back.
Damage control.
They also added a delightful little mode called Legendary Dark Knight mode, where ordinarily Devil May Cry is known for their increasing levels of difficulty that generally just increase the opponent's health, decrease yours, and make the enemies a little bit more aggressive. Legendary Dark Knight difficulty instead ups the amount of enemy spawns by a dozen. So
it also makes you play as Batman.
You get in there, and the entire screen is just covered in enemies. Which is hilarious with some characters, painful for others. Because someone like Dante actually doesn't have very much crowd control capability. But it's a lot of fun and surprisingly difficult. Like Devil May Cry 4, I'll say that now that I've finished 4, I can look over the entirety of the canon Devil May Cry series, like, as a full series. And I'll say that while 2 was, for the most part, a mess, every other game has had at least something that I felt was, like, it was best in the series for some kind of aspect. Devil May Cry 1, it felt like everything had its purpose. Devil May Cry 1 was the oldest. It was back in the day when the ideas behind game design were a little bit different, where everything felt like it needed to have a purpose. You didn't just add content for the purpose of adding content. So Devil May Cry 1 feels the most well put together. 3 has easily the best story, and the gameplay, I think, there is Devil May Cry at its peak, in terms of making, combos that are big and easy to put not necessarily easy to put together, but the game encourages you to get better. There's a lot of hard games like Dark Souls, where the game goes hard as a way of saying fuck you to the player. And Devil May Cry instead feels more as the kind of difficulty where it encourages you to get better. Like, it's the kind of difficulty where when you die, you're like, okay, this is where I fucked up. This is where I need to improve. And 3, I think, had that the hardest, because 3 has a well-earned reputation of being the most difficult in the series. But I don't think at any point is it the kind of difficulty where it's like, you can't beat this. It's not the kind of difficulty you need luck or chance or impossible reflexes to beat. It's the kind of difficulty where you get better. You can tell you're getting better over the course of the game. So 3 had the best scaling of difficulty, and I think 3 had the easiest, best to put together combos. 4 has easily the best environments, and of course the best graphics, though it's cheating because it got to be on the 7th generation. Where the other Devil May Cry's had very boring mix-ups of typical gothic environments, lots of castles, lots of barren plains, lots of shadowy, mist-filled forests. Devil May Cry 4, you get to go to, like, a snow-covered mountain. You get to go to a city that looks exactly like the Vatican, but it's not called the Vatican because there's a part where Dante kills the Pope, and they don't really want to have Dante directly killing the Pope, because that'd be bad.
Instead, he has a fist fight with him.
Yeah. No, Nero has a fist fight with the Pope.
So when does the FTO come in and do the same?
You go to a jungle. You go to a crazy big, actual, like, pure white church filled with crazy robot knights trying to kill you. So it easily has the best looking environments. The story is better than the one in Devil May Cry 1 or 2, not as good as 3. It does a very good job with several of the boss fights, though, conveying the story through the gameplay. There's one boss fight where it's supposed to be basically Nero fighting what is basically his brother-in-law, and it seems to me like the boss fight actually goes in reverse of the usual boss fight structure, and then it gets easier as the fight goes on, because the brother-in-law is losing the spirit to fight Nero. So I thought that was a pretty neat thing for them to do. Devil May Cry 4 has one of the worst boss fights in the series, the Savior, which is a giant statue flying thing that you need to crush the crystals. And for the entire final phase, you guys know what's the worst thing in boss fights?
What?
When the boss can only be damaged when it lets you.
Yeah.
And the only thing worse than that is when the boss only lets you after, like, 10 attacks. And they're some of the hardest to dodge attacks in the game, you know?
Yep.
The Savior has that going on hard. You can only damage him during one specific move, and it's a move where he isn't actually doing anything except leaving himself wide open, because, literally, if you do nothing, he will not hit you. So it's that brand of stupid. And other than that, he's got a variety of, 90 different attacks that all deal crazy damage and are difficult to dodge. So I fucking hated that boss fight, but other than that, the boss fights in that game are pretty damn good. which is typical for Devil May Cry. I'd say Devil May Cry is one of the best series for boss fights you can go with in gaming. The characters have a very, very strong variety in terms of how they play. Like, Lady is an entirely different ballgame from everybody else. Because typical Devil May Cry fare is like, a lot like usual beat 'em ups. You go in for melee, and you have ranged attacks for fighting the appropriate enemies or for extending combos when the guy's on the other side of the screen. But generally you want to focus on melee. Lady is all about guns. Her melee attacks are god-awful. So
I thought you were going to say her melee attacks are guns.
Her melee attacks are also guns, that is true. Her melee attacks basically... Her ranged attacks are shoot you from far away. Her melee attacks are shoot you in the face close up. So she gets gun combos, basically. And it's very weird for her doing that. And also because she's just a regular human, she is not nearly as tanky as the other characters. And overall, I'd say, like... I don't think 4 is quite as good as 3, but it's a damn good follow-up. It's a damn good sequel. And if 5 comes out and it's as good as 4, then I'd definitely be happy. If 5 comes out and it's better than 2, I'd be happy. I don't know.
5 comes out, it's actually just a copy of 2.
No. So yeah, Devil May Cry, definitely one of my favorite series. I'm glad to have finally been able to finish every entry and truly say I have completed the entire Devil May Cry series.
So now on to other stylish hero action games.
Yep. So next week I'm going to be starting up Darksiders. So
alright, do you want me to try with you?
Yeah, you can go through on Xbox One. I'm going to be going through on PC.
Alright. By the way, when's Devil May Cry 5 coming out?
Oh, I do not know. If you give me a second to look it up. But yeah, then there's the inevitable thing of Addie and I have both also spent a while playing fucking Devil May Cry Reboot, which I don't even consider to be a Devil May Cry game because it's not.
I honestly went back just for the Infinite to have it recorded.
The thing is, I was like, wow, this is weird. That is actually totally intentional.
It is?
Yes, because there's a part in the game. Devil May Cry 5 is coming out in the first quarter of 2019. So sometime around January, February, March, April, probably. So I'd say I could probably fit a stylish action game, a character action game in every week going into that.
Because then we have a list because we have Darksiders 1 and 2. We have Darksiders 3 when that comes out. We have Bayonetta. We have both of the Force Unleashed games.
We have Bayonetta 2, which I forgot to mention I'm probably going to get a Switch for Christmas, so I'll be able to do Bayonetta 2 when I get the Switch. What else is there? Lollipop Chainsaw. I have Ghost Rider for PS2, which, believe it or not, is actually a really good Devil May Cry game.
No.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm going to love playing through that. There is, of course, the 4 God of War games, which God of War 4 is going to be a pain in the ass for me to play through, and especially on my budget, because it's still new and $60, but whatever. There is...
Well, look on the bright side. You can share play it with me.
That is true. That is true. Actually, I could just leave that running and let you play through for a little bit. Just so you can talk a little bit about the combat system in that game.
Yeah.
There's basically everything from Platinum. Metal Gear Rising. Oh man, I'm going to have to play through Legend of Korra. Jesus. Okay, Pink, whenever I'm going into Legend of Korra, I'm going to need you to get me up to speed on Avatar lore going into Legend of Korra. Because you're the big Avatar fan here, right?
Right.
Right, because I stopped like sometime around the end of the water arc, beginning of the Earth arc. I never finished Last Airbender.
They never showed the last part of Last Airbender over here, so...
Right, we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah. By the way, we're up to 15 games.
Yes, we are. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, there's Vanquish, which is a third-person shooter character action game, so that's interesting. I mentioned Metal Gear Rising. Transformers Devastation. That's going to have to go up there.
There's this Cyberman Power Rangers game or whatever.
Ooh, I do not know if I can get my hands on that. There's Anarchy Reigns, which is more of a beat-em-up than it is a character action game, but I'll still be able to do it, because, hey, it'll fill out time.
And then if I can get PS Plus, then there's technically also Sengoku Basara. I think it falls under Stylish Direction as well.
I'm trying to... Deadpool. I forgot about Deadpool. Deadpool.
Right, that's that garbage.
It's okay. The Deadpool game is okay. It's not a good one. I wouldn't say it's a good one, but it's okay. The bigger problem with Deadpool is the awful jokes.
Devil May Pool.
Devil May Pool. The great thing is, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Dante and Deadpool are depicted as nemesis.
Oh.
Because there's a scene in Devil May Cry 3 where Dante says, I hate anyone that talks more than I do. So he fucking hates Deadpool.
Makes sense.
I'm looking over my collection here, but... Whew.
That's 21 games or so. That should be enough, I think.
Yeah, we'll figure out more if we need to. Oh, and if I get a Switch, then I guess there's also Mighty Number 9, but, you know. Or not Mighty Number 9, the other one, the Platinum game where you play as the superhero who's heading up a horde of superheroes.
I don't remember.
Because Mighty Number 9 was...
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name. Mighty Number 9 is the Mega Man game.
Is it? I
Yes.
always get those two games confused. I'm going to Google. I'm going to fucking Google it, but... Yeah, whatever superhero game it is that Platinum made for the Wii U as a launch game, I'm going to have to hit that one. So, yeah, we could be able to fill out the schedule pretty well.
Yeah.
So, Anyways, yeah, we started Devil May Cry Reboot. And yeah. So I felt it was necessary to bring up the most infamous cutscene in the game so Pink could see it and understand what we're talking about. Because let's just hear it. So the cutscene we brought up to Pink is the infamous "fuck you" cutscene. Pink, what did you think of it?
I had no idea what to think of it. It's like, here we are hours later after I've already watched it, and I'm still confused.
Is it bad that I remember and don't remember it at the same time?
You just watched it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't blame you, because that is some of the most unforgettable... It's forgettable and unforgettable at the same time. The main thing I have against Dante in the reboot is... Dante, it has always been a smartass, right? That's one of the most central aspects of his character. But in the main universe, firstly, he is fairly original. He doesn't rely just on cursing. He curses every now and then, but he mostly tries to rely on coming up with actual insults instead of just "fuck you."
And the New 52 Dante.
New 52 Dante is the proper name for him. Fuck it, he's New 52 Dante now. Because he's just a sick, edgy parody of Dante, so he's the New 52 Dante. Yeah, perfect. I mean, Dante already was a superhero, pretty much. But my thing about Reboot Dante is, whenever regular Dante insulted someone or made a one-liner, it seemed like he was trying to have fun with it. Or if he was deliberately trying to taunt somebody to get them to act stupid in the fight, right? When Reboot Dante taunts or insults someone, it feels mean-spirited in a way that the original Dante never did. Like, the way Dante talks to the succubus here makes it seem like he honestly just hates, anyone who is slightly overweight or not fit to his description of attractiveness, you know? Because, like, Dante would mess with people, but this Dante's like... The Dante fucking starts his line off with, "I'm your prom date, you big sack of shit." Which is one of the worst lines I've heard in a long time, because it doesn't even begin to make sense why he would even say that, but okay. And there's another particular part in the game that gets me really badly. There's a cutscene where Dante is just walking down the street, and a morbidly obese man is walking the opposite way on the sidewalk, and he's drinking from a soda. Dante just walks up to the obese guy, smacks the soda out of his hands, and says, "That shit'll kill ya." Like in a real smartass kind of way. And like, the main universe Dante never would have done that to just some random civilian. Like, what are we saying about Dante now? Because he's like he's a crazy superhuman guy that could kill anybody, any regular human, with a fucking flick of his fingers. So are we saying that Dante likes to bully the pathetic mortals now? Also, the infamous fuck you exchange. Is that just the laziest dialogue you've ever heard?
Absolutely.
I don't remember any of it.
Oh my god.
Not much to remember.
And there's another thing. I don't know if you noticed this as well, Addy. That entire game is fucking hideous to look at.
Yeah, I've noticed. Mainly on the Dante skins' faces.
Oh yeah, I'm not just talking... I was talking about monsters there, but you're totally right. The people are hideous too. Because, like, the monsters are hideous in a way the original Devil May Cry never would have done. Because in the original Devil May Cry, like, the demons are absurdly powerful, so they take whatever form they like. So none of them would intentionally choose to be ugly. And yet, all of the demons here, like, they're either really bad at hiding it, or they choose to be ugly for some fucking reason. Like, I could bring up a couple designs from the old Devil May Cry games just to show you, because it's a world of difference, really. The fucking boss fights, oh my god. This is one of those moments where I'm so angry that my brain is not computing anything to say. So, like, the unoriginal part of my brain just wants to start spewing curse words. But unlike the writers here, I dare to be original. So, just to give a couple pictures of the typical demon designs of the previous Devil May Cry entries. Right? So, we got, like, devils like this. And I'm gonna go ahead...
Isn't that guy the first boss from the fourth one?
Yes, he is. Throwing down a timestamp there so I can let the audience see as well. And who else is a good example? I guess we can throw in this guy. This guy's a classic.
I'm sure that one's just Surtur.
He really is, but he's also...
It's a new shit on skin.
You can't see below the waist, but he's actually a centaur.
Ah.
Or a big-ass spider, which, I mean, not too original, but hey. Oh, that's a terrible picture.
Not a big, ugly grub either, so it's got that going for it.
Yeah, he looks cooler in the picture. Like, okay, here's a good shot of him. This is a better shot of the spider Phantom, who was the very first boss fight of the entire series. That's a much better picture of him.
He looks derpy.
He does, but
He's only got 6 eyes. What kind of spider?
2001 era PS2 graphics. Or the Savior, which is the boss fight I mentioned hating. Like
this is Master Hand, just the rest of him.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh no, here's my favorites. Here's my boys, Agni and Rudra. These guys were one of the best boss fights of Devil May Cry 3, because they're just two dipshit brother demons that spend the entire time not shutting up. And they're like being really polite to Dante as they fight, and Dante's entire reaction can roughly be summed up as, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, compare these designs of demons to the fucking Reboot designs, where, let me shoot up some pictures there. Oh my. Firstly, we got the hideous succubus. Then we got a monkey with no nose and an engine for a back, for some reason. Good luck explaining that, because I've got no earthly fucking clue. And this one's the hardest to look at. There's a boss fight that is just... There is a boss fight that I swear to God, there is a pregnant woman. A pregnant woman you run into. And she's a demon.
I was about to say, you run into her really hard if you end up where the baby is.
Yeah, so her demon form, then the baby comes out. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in a video game. Because the baby then comes out of her womb, and then she recedes into the giant baby's womb.
Well, that's odd.
Yes. Like, I get the idea of making demons hideous and Lovecraftian in ways, making them into Resident Evil monsters. But at the same time, this is Devil May Cry. I don't go to Devil May Cry for that. I go to Devil May Cry to see, like, basically the video game equivalent of Thor fighting Surtur. Except instead it's Dante fighting a giant statue that shoots lasers. Or a giant spider with lava flowing through its veins. I don't go to see this weird Lovecraft shit. Ordinarily I'd be a fan, but it's just out of place, you know?
Yeah.
They should have made Dante one of them.
Ha!
Then again, they did.
Dante's fucking devil trigger in this game is the worst. Here's another example.
No, not even with the devil trigger. Have you looked at his face? He's one of them anyway. He's just more freaking. He's more human-like.
Oh, the stupid sneer he gets on his face is just the worst. The other thing I should bring up for old Pink here to compare. Let me just get the timestamp again, just to make it easier on me to edit. Is this big old picture. So, Dante's always had what's called the devil trigger, which is where he taps into his full powers as a demon and becomes crazy powerful. And in the previous games, it looked like that. Or this, where he looks like an actual demon, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, have you seen the
He
devil...
becomes a lizard.
Have you seen the devil trigger form for Dante in the reboot?
No.
Okay.
Post a picture of DMC1 Dante.
That's what I'm...
It's the same.
I'm about to just show a picture, and it's the worst, because it's literally just... Hang on, and here's the picture. Is that not the laziest shit you have ever seen?
That's so simple, it's dumb.
It's him with white hair. Oh my god. Jesus.
It just glows a little more red now.
Yeah, it's so innovative. God.
They didn't want to unprettify their nice little edgelord they've got there.
I suppose. I guess that's what they were thinking. Like, oh, we'll make it sexy for the ladies, and that'll sell our game.
I mean, the game does start with him being naked.
It does. It does, and
Yeah.
the opening cutscene, I'll admit, that was the only part of the game I actually had a slight chuckle at, was the things floating in front of his dick. That was actually funny. That actually seemed like a thing from the mainline Devil May Cry games. The true Devil May Cry games. Though none of them have been that vulgar, I'll say that. The type of gag makes sense, but the vulgarity of having Dante outright naked wouldn't fit. So, and here's the other thing. The Dante design we got was bad. It could have been worse. It could have been so much worse. Because have any of you seen the original concept art for Reboot Dante?
No.
Behold. Is that not the stupidest hoodie design you've ever seen?
I'm sure Addy loves it.
What?
So he has a head. He has a hoodie. The hood is bigger than his fucking shoulders. Like a good 20% of Dante's person in this design is hood.
Is a hood.
He can't see. It's drooped over his fucking eyes. He can't see shit. Oh, and of course,
Bloody hell.
of course, he's smoking.
Good luck fighting with a potato sack over your head.
It does look like that, and the little point at the top just adds to it. Because now he looks like he's part of the fucking KKK. Because why not?
Yeah.
His devil trigger is becoming a shy guy.
They changed the name of the devil trigger to Grand Dragon form. Also, I think they thought they had a cool idea there of him unzipping the hood and then it turns into massive lapels off his coat. That also looks stupid.
Yeah.
Can I just say, also, the idea of Dante smoking is awful.
And can we discuss the hair?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, the hair for the Dante design we got was bad. That looks like a weird shaved sides mullet, but like...
That is literally the hair that we used on our joke character in New Vegas. Isn't it, Pink?
Oh, let me enlarge it again. Take a look. It kind of is.
It's just the hair that we used in New Vegas.
Again, I have to bring up for comparison like one of the classic Dante designs. Because it's just, like, I'll admit that Dante's had some bad designs in the main series. Like, in particular, I'm about to bring up the Devil May Cry 4 Dante because it's the one that's most well known at this point. But even it looks a little bit stupid because it's got fucking... He's wearing... Do you see that? He's wearing assless chaps.
Yeah. It's so he can have a flying pizza cover his dick without having to take off their chaps.
God.
At what point was he ever considered cowboyish?
4 really goes with cowboy-esque design for Dante for some reason. It's because
Odd.
Dante in 4 is supposed to be the most mature. Devil May Cry 4 is probably the best version of Dante because it's when he's like just past the point of giving a shit. Because every single enemy in the game, he just just messes with them. There's a part in the game where there's one really serious scientist that he has to fight. And Dante spends the entire opening cutscene of the fight making Shakespeare speeches. And a spotlight appears out of nowheres on him as he's making the speech. And he pulls out a rose or something. And of course, after he kills the scientist, he says, and the rest is silence. Compare that to young Dante, that's the version for Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So...
Yeah.
We've just started talking about Reboot. I don't want to make this a long-ass topic of Pink tunes out, because, But there's something...
After a point, I would tune out as well, because my knowledge of Reboot is limited.
Yeah. I do want to go ahead and say quickly about the gameplay. The gameplay is okay. Devil May Cry is known for, figuring out, hey, these moves combo into these moves. Figure out what can combo together for fun. But the Reboot makes it a little too easy. Addy's here has also played. But those fucking grappling hooks that pull you to the enemy or pull the enemy to you, they just make comboing too easy, don't they?
Yeah.
Because everything combos into everything, just follow it up with the stupid hooks. But the thing that bothers me most about the entire fucking game is the obnoxious fucking story and setting. Because they spent the entire game knocking off fucking They Live. So the story basically can be summed up as the corporations are trying to kill you because they are literally the devil.
Yeah.
And every post, because Dante enters an alternative demon world called Limbo that, by the way, was not present in the original Devil May Cry series whatsoever. And while he's in there, he has They Live vision. And it just straight up rips off They Live. Where the billboards for soda are replaced with consume, or greed, or gluttony, or something like that, you know. Or the billboards for bikinis or whatever are like lust, or produce more children. That's the most common one. And I swear to God, you know what the fucking midway boss of the game is?
What?
Bill O'Reilly.
Who?
Okay, he's a very controversial American news pundit who you might recognize from the meme of "Fuck it, we'll do it live."
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's probably best for your sanity that you don't recognize him. So there's something funny about a game that is just so obnoxiously on the nose with its politics. Like, I don't care if you want to convey a political message. Don't make it stupid. Don't make it an on-the-nose, obnoxious fucking thing. And it's just the worst as it's ever been in there. Like, it's Lorax levels of, okay, we fucking get it. Capitalism is bad. Consumerism is bad. Fox News is mind-controlling you to be the devil. Like, maybe a little bit of subtlety should be required if you're going to bother doing a political story. And more importantly than that, who the fuck goes to Devil May Cry for a political story? Like, half the scenes in that game, I'm like, oh good, Dante's killed Bill O'Reilly. That is not a sentence I would ever have thought would come up before this damn game existed. Oh, no. No. You know what's the worst political bit in the game?
What?
When Virgil is introduced, he's wearing the fucking V for Vendetta Guy Fawkes mask.
Was he wearing it?
Yes, he was. He recorded himself giving a speech about the evil corporations while wearing a Guy Fawkes mask.
We are Legion. We are united. We are anonymous, or whatever the freaking meme is.
Yep. Can I just say that at the time I appreciated V for Vendetta as a story for what it is? I now wish that movie never existed, and the comic never existed. Though it never would have got popular without the movie.
I really liked V for Vendetta, the movie. I don't like anything that it spawned.
Well, it was based off a comic by Alan Moore during the 80s. That's where the movie came from.
By it spawned, I mean, you know.
Oh, right, mask. Anonymous, yeah. I wasn't thinking. But putting Virgil, of all characters, in a fucking anonymous mask. And I heard something. So Virgil is Dante's, like, personality-wise opposite in the original series. Where Dante is very much, you know, Mr. Cocky, arrogant, loves to taunt people and mess around and goof around. Virgil is dead serious and extremely respectful and honorable and all that, and he only cracks up the occasional joke when he's with Dante, and it's like usually a very dry, sarcastic joke.
So that's why I like him.
Yeah. In this universe, Virgil is firstly the head of a resistance movement for some reason. Virgil uses guns, which in the original series, Virgil hated guns and thought they were for savages. And I've heard, I'm not going to lie, I got to level 17 of the 20 levels. I couldn't take it anymore. I was just like, fuck this. I uninstalled the game. That's how bad it was.
By the way, you say that Virgil is at the front of a rebellion or rebel organization or whatever. But that sect needs someone to control it.
You know what? You know what's the worst thing I've heard though? I heard a while ago, Dante, the final boss fight of Dante versus Virgil, because of course it has to end with the Dante versus Virgil fight. You know what Virgil apparently says to Dante before the fight?
What?
My dick is bigger than yours.
That was my will to live, by the way.
Yeah, that's Virgil, everybody. Renowned, serious, honorable warrior. My dick is bigger than yours.
Pulls out the freaking Sephiroth's katana. I mean, if he actually did that, then at least it would have some comedy.
Width versus girth. Or length, excuse me.
I was about to say, that's basically the same thing.
Look, words, English, bad. Jesus Christ. Fuck that game. Fuck, it's hard. I think that's a good ending point for talking about the shit stain.
Yeah. New 52. Capcom edition. Like, everything Capcom messes up goes into New 52 canon. Like, the Devil May Cry reboot, Street Fighter X Tekken. What else?
What else did they fuck up? Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 6 is super New 52. Man, like I'm glad that era of Capcom is over. Can I just say that? That we're back to Capcom not sucking colossal amounts of ass.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to release another Sengoku Battle. It's been 2 years.
If they release it, it ain't getting ported.
What, for the PS4? I can freaking I'll just order it from Japan. The fourth game, the last actual game in the series, because what I have is a spin-off. The last actual game in the series is still freaking $30 for the collector's edition, and the normal edition costs more. Explain that shit, but yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think that's about it for the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
We're out of topics.
All right, folks. We'll see you later.